check. What's going on? What's going on? Had a bit of an echo. Let me get that to turn down. Check.
All right.
Yeah, we good? We good?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get it popping. Welcome to the SPS podcast. You are now tuned in with your host, DJ Strata. I am joined by what we call the Mount Rushmore, the Raw Bunch. We got Bino in the building. What's up, brother? What's good with it?
What's good,
How
y'all?
you?
What's happening? I'm good, bro. Everything sound good on my end?
Yeah, you good. You
Oh,
Gucci.
yeah.
Also in the building, we got CJ. What's up, brother?
What up? On this road, I got another 50 minutes while I'm in the house.
Say that. So we're gonna get straight to it, man. Like I said, this show's gonna be a little different. I was gonna bring up a little bit of the stats that we had from last show, but I think that to keep the convo going, we'll just get straight into the videos. But before we do, man, the first thing I want to do is ask y'all, based on where we were during the last conversation, how do you feel about the generations from the 70s? Like, what was your takeaway from the last show that we did?
Shit, they damn near was going through everything we was going through, but I think it was fresh and new for them.
Why you say that?
Because it was during that time frame when the women started getting like power and they started enforcing that shit. So I guess like the black men realized a lot of the side effects that was kicking in that. And so they started voicing their opinions. They was getting the backlash, and that's how they led to them having these little meetings and talking back. And you got the group of people that realize, no, we need the black man, we need the black woman. Then you got those ones that like, no, I don't need no man, I don't need no woman, you know. But they weren't really screaming, I don't need no woman. It was more so the women just feel like they don't need no man. At least during that time.
So do you think even with everything that was going on, you're saying that you believe that the women of the 70s, they started to buy into the fact that it didn't need a man?
Oh yeah, they definitely fed into it first, for sure.
Okay.
That you had the system, quote unquote. They had to go after the women and influence them first. Because that shit would never work with the man. Could you imagine if they just had told the man, you don't need no woman, this, that, and the third? Them black men would never went with that. So they had to do the woman.
Okay. Now, let's walk into the mind of a woman in the 70s, though. So you in the 70s, the government was giving out the support that it was given. At this time, the unemployment rate for black men and black people, period, was very high, and they were just coming into age. What do you think they should have done different in the 70s that would have maybe given us a better outcome in the year we in now? What do you think that the women should have did different? And then what do you think the men should have did different, CJ?
I feel like regardless of what vouchers and BS they was offering, I feel like the women should have just stuck with their man and just found a way to work as a team to make things work in their household. Because at the end of the day, as long as they stayed together and hustled together in whatever way they could back then, they would have been good. They would have been all right with their family. Like as long as they kept it in their family, the moment they allowed outside sources or outside powers to come in, that was it. Party over.
That's fair. Bino, what are your thoughts on the 70s and the videos we were watching and kind of the foundation of the black family back then? What were your thoughts on that?
Probably probably that like CJ said, similar to CJ said, probably that we in a lot of the same positions today. It might just feel different.
Gotcha. What do you think? Do you think there was anything else that should have been done differently? Or that could have
Shit,
been done
man, I ain't gonna
differently?
lie, boy. That shit been about a week, boy. I ain't gonna lie. lot happened in the week. Let me see. But I would say, like, for real though, like, I mean, what could be done different today? I mean, in a nutshell, for real, like, if I had to answer that, it would be more so of, like, whatever still needs to be done different could have been done different back then. And what is that for real? Um, because we in the same positions, like working class, like it's the same shit. Like, then we there's more people better off, but like time of the day that's spent just surviving compared to only thing that men the family should have stayed together. If I had to answer that, men should have just
Okay,
stayed with their women. How about that? Like that's like to me that's what should have happened. Like the men should have just stayed with they wives or they whatever, man.
that's
Real.
fair. That's fair.
They shouldn't have smoked dope. They shouldn't have got locked up. If I had to say what could have been done different.
That's fair. I like it. Let's welcome my little brother Josh to the stage. What's up, brother? How you?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm good. I'm good. I was just trying to hook my goddamn mic up or my damn headphones up, but they ain't working. So
Are you
shit.
good? You sound even better like that. That's fine if you can't get them. It's cool.
All
You
right.
good
Uh,
with it, Josh?
Hey, what's up with you, Bino? How you doing?
I'm good, bro. I'm good.
yeah, we got CJ on the stage too, bro.
Already. What's up, CJ? He had to work.
What up?
All right, so bro, I was just asking the other brothers, like, what do you think about the show from the couples of the 70s? And I want to get your thoughts. So I want to ask you, being that a lot of this got introduced in the 70s, what do you think should have been done different by those families in the 70s that would have gave us a different outcome today? What do you think they should have done differently?
They should have said fuck the government and kept their family households the way it was because. Wait, and hold on, you talking about what? You talking about like government assistance and shit
Yeah.
like that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, bro. Like that. There's studies that sociologists have done, bro, that before that happened, like now, mind you, ever since the beginning of time, there's always been a man being a Rolling Stone, but it wasn't that prevalent. It wasn't that prevalent in the black community.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like our numbers for fathers being in the household was damn near almost triple what it is now.
Okay.
You
I'm
know what I'm
following.
saying? You got Big Brother coming in saying, "Hey, little lady, we'll give you a couple $100 for you and your kids, but when we go over to your house, it better not be a man over there." It's like, bro, come on, man. Like that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But then again, that wasn't the only thing going on too, because you had the feminist movement going in hard, not going against the feminist movement at all. But
Right.
there are some areas in the feminist movement that killed the male hierarchy in the black household. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? But you roll that up along with what the government was doing and the benefits that they were handing out. Like, yeah, bro, I really think that our community should have been like, hey, man, we recognize what the government trying to do, but fuck y'all.
That's fair. Now, let's bring it back to today before we get into any of the videos, because the context for today's show for the audience, if you didn't catch it, make sure you go to our channel, watch part one, where we did a conversation with the elders. In that video, what we did was we were actually touching on some of the issues we saw in the 70s, and these were middle-aged adults that was dealing with life in the 70s, and we saw that some of the same problems that existed in the 70s still exist today. So before I get into the next generation, I want to ask you all, for any of our viewers is watching, right, that find themselves in that same scenario, the way they can choose the government or to do it by themselves. How do we apply, or what advice would you give to someone that's in that same scenario that we were in the 70s? Anybody can answer that. What can they do different? And I need actionable steps, not just don't do this. Like, what would it look like for somebody that you would want to speak to that needs a transition off of the government assistance? What advice would you give them? You on mute, brother.
Yeah. I'm just sitting here still trying to think what advice I would try to give to somebody that's trying to get off government assistance. I mean, damn, bro, that's shit. That's hard.
Yeah, and the reason why I asked that question because, like you said, do y'all think that it might be too far gone for them?
Nah, it ain't never too far. Ain't nothing never too far.
Okay.
But at the same time, I ain't gonna sit here and try to make that shit seem like it'll be just an easy piece of cake. Because let's just be real, there are some women who have kids who need that shit and who's dependent on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So, like I said, that's a tricky ass question right there.
that's a bar. Dino, what
I
advice
don't
would you
got.
give
I
somebody?
mean, bro, I don't got no good advice, bro. Like, you
Mm.
feel me? Like, bro. I mean, my family was part of that shit at one time. Do more, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. So my advice ain't good because this is gonna be like do more.
What does that look like? What does do
Like
more
that.
look like?
I don't think I don't think you need no advice from nobody that's on government assistance because the people that want to get off government assistance get off of it. They do more. They go to school. They pick up a trade. They make more. When they do what they got the fuck to do to get off of it. The people that want to get off of it, it ain't nobody stuck on government assistance.
Mm.
For the most part,
Okay.
majority rules. Majority rules.
So you think that the people that are on government assistance today and back then, you think, like in the 70s, it was a choice?
I thought you said today though.
Oh no, because the
Like
same thing happened in the 70s. It was a choice in the 70s. So you're saying that today
I'm talking
they
about far as
still you
today. Far as today
uh
is do more. I don't know about what the advice would have been back then. I don't know what they was up against. But today, do more.
okay. CJ, what do you
As
think?
far as advice,
No, that's real. That's real. I mean, sometimes, we try to flesh out as many solutions as possible, but there are questions I ask that are very difficult, and maybe we got to think about it. I think by the end of the show, we'll have a little bit more tangible things to offer. I'll kind of hold off on what I think for now, but CJ, what solutions would you give someone that's trying to transition off of government assistance today, seeing that we know what it did to us? You there?
Yeah, I'm there. I would say they one need to become more knowledgeable in finance. Because at the end of the day, money ain't going nowhere. No matter what type of currency it is, it ain't going nowhere. Whether it's digital, whether it's physical, this shit ain't going nowhere. So I would say they need to get better at financing, learning how to multiply their money more than spending their money, make their money, give them money. Like they need to do those. They need to educate themselves basically in money. And then once they do that, they need to learn how to make more income in their house than spending it. Because a lot of times, let's be real, all of us on this platform at some point in time have wasted money on some dumb shit we ain't had no business spending it on. The new
Okay.
pair of shoes, clothes, the video games, and all this other stuff, like shit that could have went towards something that could have really benefited us 5, 10 years later. So we just got to be more disciplined in our money and educate ourselves in finances. I feel like that part right there would definitely give a big head start for some folks. Now, as far as the people trying to get off of like government assistance, I would say find a way to use the government assistance to help you get off of it. I
What
know
does that
people
look
that
like?
use I know people that use like food stamps and shit, and then use the food stamps to collect a bunch of food, and then like snacks and shit, and then sell those snacks to make money. Then the money you're making off of that, you'll flip that shit to hustle for some other shit. So it's ways around that shit. Because at the end of the day, the food stamps is not coming out of your pocket. That's government assistance. But then you get the snacks and food or whatever, you sell that shit. Then the money you're making out of that, you use that to turn that money to make more money. You see what I'm saying? At least this way, that ain't even money that came out of your pocket initially. You see what I'm saying? So
Okay.
it's ways around it to get out of that system, but you could use that system to ultimately get out of it. You just gotta, again, like I said in the beginning, be smart financially.
Okay, so my pushback to that, and again, I hear what you're saying. I think it's sound advice, but I want to make it real tangible for the people listening. So let's say you getting rental assistance, SNAP benefits, welfare, and WIC, right? Now,
Okay.
with all of these programs, after you make a certain amount of money a year, you're disqualified, right?
Hmm.
but it's a very low threshold. So if the government assistance is barely keeping you, I'm talking about if you're getting all of the programs and they're barely keeping you afloat, how feasible is it for them to be wiser with what they got if what they got determines where they are?
See, I don't know because shit, I'm barely making it on what they don't give me. So
Right,
that's what I'm saying.
right. But
Shit,
that's
they
my
can get,
point.
they can get jobs that work under the table. They can do side hustles.
Okay,
Right now I'm trying not to push anything into telling you to do some illegal shit. You know, I be quick to tell somebody I support hustles, but make sure they legal. You know, I don't want nobody to do illegal shit no more.
that's fair. That's
But
fair.
so you know, like there's ways around that shit. Like I told you, my homeboy that makes clothes and shirts and he makes like designs and shit. That nigga used to be a hustler. I ain't gonna put his shit out there like that, but he was a hustler, if you know what I mean. But he stopped
That
that
part.
shit to do something that way he can still make money and hustle legally. Now his little hustle that he does now, making designs and coats and shit, that the government ain't taking nothing out of that. That shit come out of his own pockets. He makes it makes his money back and some. That's still legal.
Okay.
So there's ways around it. Motherfuckers just need to
Right.
stop being goddamn lazy, like Bino said, and do more. Like there's ways around that shit. You can hustle all types of ways.
Yeah.
Everything sells at the end of the day, nigga. You can sell air if you know how to do it.
Then most people gonna do that and still stay on government assistance. That's why I say ain't nobody stuck. They gonna
Oh,
make that extra
okay.
money, make the income they need to make, and they still gonna stay up there.
That's fair.
Yeah, I ain't gonna front. I mean, shit.
I know I would probably.
My homeboy said get a job under the table. I automatically thought of shit when we used to fucking had to go in the tobacco fields and you know what I'm saying, and the goddamn watermelon fields. They pay you just straight cash, like shit. Sometimes a week, goddamn 500 to 700, depending on how hard you work.
That part.
So you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, data just like Bino said, man, just learn a trade. Goddamn it, be a carpenter. Motherfuckers always gonna pay you to fix a roof, a bathroom, a wall. Like you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And them trades ain't going nowhere. So
Okay.
yeah, no,
That's
that's what I
fair.
was.
That's fair, brother. I'm not gonna push it too much. I just wanted to lead with some solutions for the last video. Now we're gonna get into we're gonna jump forward another generation. So the last generation, we had middle-aged people in the 70s speaking. So the first video I'm gonna play, now we jumped into the 80s. So for people that are aged between, I would say 28 to about 40, this would be the transition of your parents. Now, this conversation might be a little sensitive, right? Because this is a little closer to our generation, a lot more closer to home. But I said we're going to keep the conversation general, but I want to now walk one generation backwards or one generation forward from the 70s kids. So we saw how the 70s parents was kind of going back and forth about leadership, who should lead, how much government. Now let's see the effects on the following generation. So I'm gonna play this first video, then we're gonna walk down what y'all think from what y'all see. And again, this was part of a documentary. I think it was done by PBS, but they literally was walking down the effects of what happened in the previous generation. So we're gonna go through a couple of videos and then we'll get to it. Let's see what y'all think. Here's the first one, man. Let's go. Let's get to it, bro.
Raise your hand if you're married. None of you are married. Raise your hand if you would like to be married to your baby's father. One. The rest of you who don't plan to get married, why don't you plan to get married? I'd like to know that.
You already have your child to think about, and then a whole family to care for. You know, it's a lot of responsibility, and then you don't want the commitments.
I wouldn't want no man holding me down because I think I can make it as a single parent.
But don't you think you might need help in raising that baby from a man?
Not really. I didn't have a father. My father wasn't in the home, so you know it really male figures are not substantially important in the family.
Thinking about holding up for no sex, my man. You know, if a girl, you know, she get having a baby, carrying a baby, hey, that's on her. You know, I'm not gonna stop my pleasures because of another woman.
What about birth control? What about condoms?
Girls don't like them things. They don't like them things. They'll tell you to take them things off. They figure that you saying that they filthy or they dirty or something.
It's been a startling change in values. 25 years ago, you would not have heard such things said so freely because they were not embraced so widely. The strong family was still the backbone of Black America, and 3 out of 4 children had both parents at home. That is true no longer. Most Black children are now growing up without their fathers. The result is a world turned upside down as children copy what they see and repeat what they learn. LaDawn said she didn't have a father in her home and doesn't think her children need one. She's not unusual. Half the Black families today are headed only by a woman. Clorinda said she could make it on her own as a single parent. She has never been married and is raising her daughter without a man's help. She's not unusual. Today, nearly 60% of all Black children are born out of wedlock. Timothy said his children are not his responsibility. He has left them to be supported by their mothers and welfare. He's not unusual either.
Bro, that
Thoughts?
shit, wow.
Ain't
That
it,
shit
though?
was wicked, bro. That
That's
shit was
Let's
wicked.
talk about
bro.
it. Let's talk about it. What y'all think?
Hey man, first off, fuck that nigga at the end. Like my man
Yeah.
just straight said he was casual with this shit too. Like, I ain't worrying about a motherfucker having kids. She's like, kid, that's on her. I ain't gonna stop my pleasures. What kind of fuckery type of shit is that, bro? Like, I get it, niggas got their urges, but you said that shit like, man, I get like 30 bitches pregnant. As long as I get my nut on, I don't give a fuck about the risky results at the end. And that nigga said it casually too. Now that first
Perry.
thing that was talking about, like, she was raised as a single, her mom was like, a single mother, whatever. Like, it's the fact is because she grew up like that, she automatically assumes that shit's okay. And that's maybe because her mom ain't tell her otherwise. Like, just because your mom was a single mother, she should have been teaching your ass that don't be like her. And obviously that wasn't the case. Then you got the second girl, she talking about, oh, I don't need no kid, and she's happy to get help from the government assistance. That's another thing. If there was no assistance or no help being given to you by the government, you wouldn't be you would be talking, you wouldn't have that same energy coming out your chest talking like that if you didn't have no damn government assistance. That's how I feel about all 3 of them motherfuckers. But fuck that nigga at the end.
That's fair. That's fair. Let's go Bino and then Josh. Bino, what you think about the clip, bro? You're muted, brother.
That's when that shit was first really happening. So you feel me? They thought they was getting helped and shit. You feel me? Because that's when like it first really happening. They thinking like, shit. You feel me? Like they don't need a father in the household because government assistance was still kind of new. So the effects that we see that it did today still hadn't fathomed yet. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is the ones that still say that shit today. And then CJ is dudes that might not say that because they know it's not nothing to say, but it's niggas times 10 who think exactly how he thinks still. You feel what I'm saying? That's exactly what they do. They ain't had no camera to ask them for real. You know what I'm saying? But it's niggas times 100 that do that today. And then I think the difference is now the women know they need more than government assistance. I think that's the difference. I think you ain't gonna hear 2 women say that today in the interview like them 2 young ladies did at the time they was young ladies back then, because
That's a fact.
it still wasn't prevalent yet to effects. And like, yeah, you might, man, they might give you somewhere to stay on top, give you a building to stay in. Yeah, they might give you some food stamps, but like everything that's involved in raising a child, you know what I'm saying, the government can't do. They just making sure you still alive here to collect taxes off the top of your head, really. You know what I'm
That's a
saying? Make
fact.
sure you don't die and shit.
That's a fact. Before I get to you, Josh, I want to go to a comment. Shout out to Queen R. Mia. She gave some good advice. She said, "Good evening, brothers. We must begin with educating single women. Also provide information on how to take steps on becoming secure independently. They are fearful with any new life changes." Also, she followed up with never seen before. It's time to teach and train our people. That's a fact, Queen Mia. If you look
I
up
respect that.
Queen Mia, Yeah, that's some real shit. Like I said, Queen Mia, if you wanted to join the panel, man, I did pin the link. I'll post it in the message group as well. You're more than welcome to come up here and help us through this conversation from a woman's perspective. We would definitely appreciate it. But that was some good shit. I think that she's right. Like I said, it takes just as much effort as the government took to get us on these systems. It's going to take that much re-education to get them off of it. So I think what you said actually has validity. I think that really makes sense. I like that. That was good feedback. Now let's go to you, Josh. What did you think about the clips that was just played, bro? What are your
I mean,
thoughts?
first off, man, I'm with CJ, man, and I'm gonna go ahead and flame that nigga in the end because he should have known better. For one, and I'm gonna keep saying this name until y'all know and until these viewers do their goddamn homework. That man was suffering from classic Willie Lynch syndrome, and what that is in the black community, black men especially with your low tier black men. You're not a man unless you done slept with this much amount of women. And like Bino said, you got motherfuckers running around here still own that. Like, hey, I mean, if she get pregnant and if she choose to keep it, fuck it, ain't my responsibility. I'm just
Yeah,
out here slaying them. And it's like, bro, like, what the fuck are you really doing, bro? Like, you
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you motherfucker trash on the front lawn. But so far as the what the other women said, man, it like I was just like, you know what I'm saying? It's just the second one was basically like, I was raised without a father, so you know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be too hard. Like, yo, that ain't the point. Like we got to get better with each generation. Just because you was raised without one, that should put the fire under your ass to go ahead and get one for yours.
that's a bar. That's a bar, brother.
And
I
see
think
that mentality back then, and how that affected the generation we into now is why the numbers on abortion is a little bit more by choice, like not by medical reasons, right, but by choice. That those the reasons, because now they know, like, you feel me, like the way we do as a black community haven't changed, but the knowing better has. So it's like, damn, we know better and still be moving in a certain way. And then they put out these other options for you. The government once again put out these other options, and you take the easy right out on that too, because you know that a two-parent household is prevalent to raising a child, without, crashing out, or damn near about to crash out.
that's a
Yeah,
fact.
no, it's real spit. And my thing about and another thing with the just with that video, man, is uh, a child, even how can I say this? Even if one of the parents is on bullshit, the child will learn more just by seeing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, all they got to see is the effort. Well, hell, they ain't even got to see that. They could just see, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, man, well, how my pops moving, how my mama moving, man. They ain't, I don't know if I want to, you know what I'm saying, move like that. So again, it's just like I said, man, it was just a travesty to hear that video, bro.
That's a fact. Shout out to Mia. She said, please don't leave out the missing fathers that were drafted into the military. That is my story of the missing head of the household, a man. Shout out to Mia, because like you said, a lot of women don't even see that value. But I think, shout out to Sneak. She said, I like Mia. You know what's crazy when I watched that clip? Again, we're talking about 10 years later from the clips we played earlier. Think about how in less than 10 years, you had young adults in the 70s saying, hey, I want to build with you, but this government gonna fuck us up. And the woman was like, all right, well, give us something to do, and we with you. Not even 10 years later, think about it. So let's say the conversation from the people in the 70s happened, and that split the family. A generation later, the byproduct of that family was saying, I didn't have a man. There's no value in it. In one generation, the value of a man in a home was diminished. One generation. How wild is that?
It's fucking insane. That's why I
One
said that one
generation,
girl
bro.
that one girl said that what she say? Oh, raising a child is already a lot of work. Now to raise a family, it's almost as if she's talking as if she had a man in the house, she'd have to take care of him and the kid.
Yeah.
You see how she worded it. She worded it as if like she still had to be like handling and taking care of both, not like
Yeah, because
all right,
she said
he
something
gonna
about
take care
being
of you.
committed too. She said something about
Yeah,
being committed, CJ. She like you
like
gotta be
they
bit
did
too
they
committed.
yeah, like she don't want that.
Mm.
That shit wild to me to hear that, man.
Tough. Like I said, man, y'all strap in your seatbelts, bro. We're gonna really dig into the nuances of this. And again, the reason why this conversation is so important is on YouTube and different other communities, I see this happening a lot to where we make talking points, and I'm not saying whether they have validity or not, but what I am saying is it's easy to talk about a family on welfare when you don't have faces and stories attached. Now, I'm not saying the nuance would change how you think about it, but I am saying that in order for you to even understand who you're talking about, we're gonna delve a layer or two deeper into what it looked like, right? Because a part of understanding is wisdom and knowledge. Like, so right now we're just doing the wisdom and knowledge of what happened to get the understanding of why this talking point should stand or why we need to trash it. So next up, we're going to get into another family in the 80s from the same documentary, and we're going to kind of see how this all manifested into the families that we were brought up in. Again, like I said, anyone from the age of about 25 to 40, this would be your parents speaking. So just keep that in mind. And again, I'm not saying this is an umbrella of everyone's scenario, but I am saying that this is a lot of your peers, a lot of your students. So just keep that in mind. We're going to keep rolling through. Let's get to the next video, though.
On the vocabulary. Bingo. Florinda learned about birth control in sex education courses, but she still became pregnant. You think it was a mistake?
Well, I'll say no, because I wasn't on any, birth control methods. Neither was he. And, we were sexually active, and when it happened, it just happened.
When you think back to that day when you learned you were pregnant, what went through your mind?
Oh gosh, I'm gonna tell my mother. And I'm gonna tell my mother she gonna make me get an abortion. I was really scared, I think.
Why didn't you want to get an abortion?
Because I wanted his baby.
What did you like about him?
His legs.
His legs?
I got a thing for bow-legged boys.
Bow-legged boys.
I love them. They have some gorgeous legs. I just don't know.
Darren Lyle is the father of Florinda's baby. He is 18 and lives in central Newark. He dropped out of high school when he was 16. He has never held a steady job.
I spend most of my time listening to the radio. I don't go to school, I don't work, I don't do nothing. Just like this killing time.
Did you want to have a baby?
Not really. It just happened. She just popped up pregnant. I just.
Were your friends impressed?
A lot of everybody was telling me that she looked just like me, and she is kind of cute and kind of pretty. That was like make me feel good.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Do many of them have babies?
That seems like that's all they be doing around here is making babies and shit, making babies.
Darren told us that in this neighborhood it's easy to get involved with girls and easy to get into trouble. Darren has been arrested 5 times for stealing, suspicion of homicide, and for possession of a deadly weapon. When you were arrested for carrying a dangerous weapon, what was it?
Big machetes.
Machete?
Knives and big knives.
You mean you just carried it around with you?
I used to bring it to school with me.
I mean, that's hard to conceal that, isn't it?
Well, that's different.
17, brother.
What?
17. Yeah.
That motherfucker said his legs because he bow-legged. Like, girl, that's not even a hereditary thing. That's just somebody had their baby walking too early and he just ended up being like that. That's not even hereditary. Like, what?
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, man?
Damn. And then my man said that, man, it's easier for him to smash a girl than it is to get in trouble. But yeah, you done got arrested 5 times. You walked around in school with a machete. It sounded like they ain't, and he outside doing nothing. Talking about just killing time. I mean, you just really out here just like, shit, she ain't at school. I ain't at school. We ain't doing shit else. Might as well just smash. Like, what kind of dumb shit, bro? Hell no, man.
Wicked,
Where's the
wicked.
parents, bro? Like, where's the parents hammering to these motherfucking kids though? Like,
Oh, they're
for them
coming.
to be
Yeah, they're coming in the
like,
next
that's
few
wild.
clips. Yeah, bro.
That's wild.
Yeah, Josh,
Mhm.
what jumped out with you? What jumped out to you from that video?
Really jumped out to me, man, was it's fucked up to say, bro, but it's real. But it's how the fact shit really ain't changed. The only thing changed, bro, is the fucking year. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like I can like nigga when I got out of the military and came back to Orlando, bro. That's I mean shit. It was like motherfuckers, including myself, was I mean that was happening. The same exact thing. You know what I'm saying? And how homeboy said it's easier to go ahead and fall into some snatch than to fuck around and get in trouble, bro. It was fucking like I said, bro. Shit it's sort of sad to see that shit, and it's like the only thing changed is the time of the year. Like for
that's
real, for real.
that's a
Like,
fact.
you know what I'm saying? Like I said, shit, yeah. That's it, bro. That's all I got, man.
I
Goddamn.
know, y'all. I know, man. These videos are tough, but like you said, they're so necessary for us to put faces and names and situations to these things we talking about, bro. Like, so you can see exactly how it played out. You could tell the way that man was interviewing. He was probably asking questions that they had never had to respond to out loud. It's just stuff they did. They
Yeah.
never talked about it. They just did it. And now you got
And,
somebody that, random ass white man walked through the hoods. I think that was in Jersey. Walked through the hoods of Jersey just asking questions with a camera. And
and
again,
enough.
go ahead, bro.
Just another thing too, like homeboy said, man. Like again, that right there's a direct outcome of when you don't have two parents in a household, because you always gonna have that one parent that's gonna have to provide for everything, so they're gonna have to work their fucking ass off. You ain't gonna be able to do both. You either gonna have to stay there and raise them and be broke, or go ahead and get a fucking job and literally be working for 12 to 18 hours a fucking day, while your kid, right after they get out of school, you just hoping and praying that they doing the right fucking thing. But in all actuality, come on, man, kids gonna be kids, and they gonna get up in the shit.
That's fair. That's fair. Bino, what you think about the video, bro?
I didn't even get to see it, man. I was having technical difficulties. I didn't get to see none of it.
Respect. Yeah, so what to give you kind of a rundown, we met two of the couples from the first question, and there was a girl. She was 17 years old, and she was talking about how she met the father of her kid. And so the guy asked her, "So, what made you attracted to him?" And she said his legs. She was bow-legged. And so after she made that comment, it cut to the man she was speaking of, and he hadn't had a job. He was a high school dropout, and both of them admitted that they were having unprotected sex, and that neither one of them used protection. And she said it just happened. They both kind of said, even though they acknowledged to the interviewer neither one was using protection, they both said it just happened.
Right. Well, yeah, they teenagers, man. They kids. So I ain't get the bulk of the video, but I caught what Josh was saying, and I just had to go with Josh if that's what he was speaking of when it comes to being a single parent and what I'm saying, not being able to install the certain values and and, put down the restrictions and the laws. You know what I'm saying, not being able to be around the guy that or protect those things from happening at that young of an age.
That's
That's what
fair.
happened. Because I can't really not just at 17. He young too, college dropout. Like at my age, I mean, I literally look at them as kids, man. It's
Mhm.
kids.
That's fair. That's fair. Now, what do y'all think? Like, how do y'all relate that thinking that that was the things our parents were going through? Were y'all aware that our parents was kind of struggling through the same things we're struggling through? Have you ever thought about it that way?
Now, I mean, not coming up, I didn't realize it, but now I know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just
Always
something to
thought
think
about
about.
had a general idea that, you know what I'm saying, yeah, they probably went through some of the, you know what I'm saying, some of the same things that those kids in the video was going through, to be completely honest.
Right. All right. Well, since we ain't got a lot of commentary on that, let's get to the after effects of that couple. And then we got one more couple. We're going to go down their world. And her story, the next story was a little different. But before we get to the next and the last case study, I want to go through the ending of how that couple we just watched ended up.
I don't think none of this would have happened. And then when it did happen, my grandma's like, I told you this, I told you this. Tell me nothing.
Nobody told Darren anything either. He too lives at home with his mother. Where's your father?
Locked up.
Locked up where?
Green Street.
What for?
Fighting and shit. Fighting. Violence. Stuff like that.
Had anybody ever told you what it is like to be a father?
I like watching other older, you know, I had
What did you learn
kids.
from them? How did you?
I learned that they take a lot of patience. Take a lot of patience.
You have a lot of patience?
I don't got a lot of patience.
Clorinda doesn't always have a lot of patience either.
You want to fight? Then don't ask me if I want to fight. If you don't want to fight. Don't say to me.
You got my question, you know.
Come in now.
Talk to you. You like going out like that.
No, you went out. You shouldn't have said nothing to me. You done already pissed me off.
What I do?
2 months after her abortion, Clorinda and Darren broke off their relationship. They see each other rarely now. Once in a while, Clorinda will take Shaquana to visit. Do you ever think about marrying Clorinda? Why not?
I ain't thinking about that. Nah, that's the last thing on my mind.
You ever feel depressed?
I don't be like sad. I just be like frustrated. I be like really like frustrated.
What are the odds that your daughter will follow the same route? Because there was your grandmother,
No,
your mother, and you.
no, I see to that.
How?
She won't. I would sit down, I would talk to her about her being a young lady. Like, Juana, if you go out here, you have sex, be sure you on birth control. Or, you know, if you do have sex, make sure whoever you having sex with care about you. Don't just let them let, you know, them get over on you thinking they got a piece of the action. Now they can go tell Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Did your mother tell you those things?
No.
You tell them to yourself?
I talk to myself in the mirror. But
And you say no, no?
no. And like I said to my daughter, no. No more.
Bro, how many more clips do we got, boy? These shits is hitting. Like,
I got two
god
more,
damn,
bro.
bro.
Two more,
What
bro.
the fuck?
Before I ask
Bro.
y'all, let me get the sneak. Abortion? So she got pregnant twice? Yes, she got pregnant twice. The second one she aborted. Yep.
By the same
Or
nigga,
deletion.
like
Deletion,
I was
rather.
about to say
Deletion.
that shit, like yeah, like she deleted the baby and shit. Like you already had the one, then you was still fucking with buddy knowing that when he wasn't doing shit in life, and then you turn around and pop baby number two, and you had to control delete that one because shit, what you really doing to support the first one? What is he doing to support the first one? That nigga ain't even doing shit for his damn self. That's fucking wild, bro. Like. And the fact they just up here about to butt heads with each other on camera, that's how you know, like, y'all motherfuckers only won't rock with each other for real. Y'all was just in it for the moment. You want this nigga for some, they got some he bow-legged, like, oh, boy, like, I know, this, for this to be a document set, whoever that girl is, I know she feel low-key stupid seeing this shit as, like, a grown-ass woman. I know she feel low-key stupid.
I started saying, because yeah, that is someone parent. Like, we got to keep in mind this actually happened,
These
and
are real
that
motherfucking
little
people, bro.
baby, yeah, that little baby will be my age because that was in
Right.
'86. This all of this happened in 1986, so that baby
Damn.
is my age now.
What the fuck, bro?
These babies having babies, man.
Literally.
Did y'all catch when the interviewer said, why do you think it'd be different? It happened to your grandmother, it happened to your mother. Why don't you think it happened to your daughter? Y'all catch that?
Yeah.
Yeah. She told me, so I'm just gonna tell her no, no, no. Did anybody tell you that? No, anybody tell me that. But you gonna tell them that? Shit. Maybe it'll work. Who knows?
Not even that. I think, me personally, I think it's not that she wasn't told. She probably just didn't like how she was being told because it was
The talk.
probably they weren't talking to her as a person. They were talking to her as a child, even though she was. But it's like, yo, like you, if you want a child or your person to do what you say, man, sometimes you got to rein back on that fire and brimstone parent shit and remember that, look, I was their age once. So how would I have received the message differently? You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying, but if your parent is just no, what I say go, what you know what I'm saying? It's like, a kid ain't gonna want to listen to that shit. A kid gonna fuck around and do the exact opposite just to, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Out of
I don't know. It's like I
curiosity.
said,
I
man.
think
It's
I think
everybody can share some goddamn. It's a lot of shit. I can't even think of the word, but but it's a lot of everybody can share the fucked up that's going around. The parents as
Hey,
well
there's
as
enough
those
accountability and
two.
blame, enough blame to go around.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
What you
I
saying,
think
Bino?
I was about to say I think even when that situation, it still go back to even with her situation and in general, it still go back to the men not being in the house because it's the lesson. Like her lesson still was wrong that she said she would tell her baby, which is the whole make sure the dude really cared for you and he ain't just having sex with her. Listen, the thing about it is that's what a woman can never get. A dude can tell you any way he want to take. You shouldn't tell him that. Make sure the dude care about you. Like, nah, you still telling her the wrong thing, because she's gonna eventually think a dude don't care about her. Why? Because of the she ain't gonna know the difference if a dude really care about her or not, or if he's just trying to get in the panties. Why? Because the father wasn't around to teach her the difference. So
Yeah.
that's why it turns into a generation of single women. They still teach each other the wrong lessons because they don't teach them the lessons we can. They don't know how to separate the difference. They don't know how to integrate. Like, why is that important not to have sex until is your husband, or until, you know what I'm saying, or they don't know how important it is to have sex protected, even if they do have sex for some reason, unless it comes from the men telling them. You know what I'm saying? You'll
That's the
find,
bar.
and that's because when a woman is ready to have sex with a boy, a girl ready to have sex with a boy, when she got a father that is supposed to be like not just there but loving, providing, protecting, she's having sex strictly because she wants to have sex. Not be A lot of these young girls have sex with boys because they feel like the boy loved them or gonna be with them for a long time, and all they have emotional sex off the rip with them. You feel what I'm saying? It's that
Mm,
missing dad syndrome. Just like we got the little boy missing dad syndrome. It just looks different for the woman and the man.
that's a bar. I
Yeah,
like
hell
that. That's a bar, bro.
yeah.
Let's get to the comment section. Um, First, Queen Mia said you want to blame the parents, but if that's the life the parents are living, they're in need of counseling. Strong mentors are missing. I think that was from earlier, but then she came back and said, "You're absolutely right, Bino." Shout out to my uncle. He said, "Well, I know that I'm catching up to the last part of the convo, but overall, someone has to break the curse." Absolutely, man. It starts at least with the conversation of awareness.
What's
I
up, Uncle
think,
Paul?
yeah, I think what's good on. I think what's interesting, like you said, is the fact that even if she was told, when asked, "Were you told?" she said no. To Josh's point earlier, I don't think that she was given the proper context to know why. She maybe was told, but the why to a 17-year-old matters.
Yeah.
It don't matter to us because we know why. We can see the effects if you do it wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I think that at that age, unfortunately, again, if you're double, let's say their parents was 35 and they were 17, you know what I'm saying? Let's put it about around there. And your 35 years of living, you have lived long enough to know the consequences of your decisions. So by doing that, you know why you're telling your children to move a certain way. But I think that a lot of times you assume that your child has the same experience or knowledge to know why you're saying don't do something. And I think that a lot of the generation before, like from the 70s, they were missing the why. So you have what you have in the 80s, to where there's a bunch of kids still making the same mistakes because the lessons didn't stick because they couldn't understand or make it make sense to their children, especially when they didn't have the outcomes. We could tell by that one video, the 17-year-old mother, her grandmother and her mother, they both were single. So even if she was provided the why of looking down her family tree, the context wasn't there because there was no one with the result that was definitely something that she could have looked to as an actionable example. That's what I got from that, though, man.
Yeah, I feel
But
that.
there was no results there. So even if I was telling you, if I didn't give you the importance of the why, and again, you would think like, but see, this is all hindsight shit. Meaning, if you grew up in your house and you knew your father wasn't there, you knew how much your mama was struggling, the logical thing would be, well, I need to do something a little different. My daddy's not here. This shit is tough. So if I'm at least be out here having sex, let me at least try to find someone that I can see myself marrying or getting with. But again, this is how poverty can warp the mind. Because in your mind, I'm just fine, right? A lot of people in poverty, if you ask them, well, how was your upbringing? Oh, it's fine. Why? Because we know how to cope and manage with our environment around us very easily, right? And I think sometimes it fucks up our perception of what results should be. Because in
Yeah,
your mind, you didn't die. So was it that
because
bad?
everybody else around you is just like you. So I mean,
That part.
it's normalized. Yeah, for sure.
You
Everybody
can
around you
normalize
is
the
just
bullshit.
yeah, for sure.
That's a fact, man. That's a fact. All right, y'all. I got two more videos, and then we're gonna shift gears back to the 70s. But we're gonna follow one more couple, and they're gonna actually get more into the welfare system and how it was introduced into the 80s, what the process looked like, and how the people that used it, like the type of time they were on. So let's get to the first one. We'll talk about it. We'll get to the next one.
Her mothers raised Timothy's children, and welfare pays for them. On the first day of each month at noon, the mothers gather outside the project's mailroom, waiting for the postman to deliver their checks.
Oh, we call it Mother's Day.
Why?
Because us mothers be getting our check that day, getting their welfare check, so we call it Mother's Day.
Alice's welfare check comes to $385 a month. She cashes it at the corner store.
Back in town now.
She gets another $112 in food stamps.
I don't think I would have had the second two children if I didn't think welfare was there. But I don't like welfare because it makes me lazy.
It does?
Yeah, it makes you lazy just to sit around and wait for a monthly check to come in. You know, I just like to work. I like money to come in every week or every 2 weeks.
Why doesn't Timothy help you take care of those kids?
One thing I do know about Timothy, that if he did had a job,
See you another blue moon.
I know he would take care of me and the children and the bills. But what's holding him back, well, this is what he tells me all the time. He figure I'm going to be with another guy, or I'm going to slip away from him while he at work. That don't make no sense to me.
Don't you get mad sometimes?
I get mad a lot of times about financially support from Timothy.
What do you say to him?
I always say it ain't that hard to get a job. You go out there and look for a job, because I'm sick and tired of just laying back waiting for a welfare check. I said, this is not how I want to live the rest of my life. This is not the way I plan for my future to be.
Does it make you feel bad that you can't support your kids?
Yes.
How do they make it? Where do they get the money?
Well, majority of them, the mother's on welfare, and welfare gives them the stipend for the month. So what I'm not doing, the government does.
What would happen if the government didn't?
This would be a big disaster, I guess, because you can't give something that you don't have. In order to give, you got to have for yourself.
You see, people out there watching are going to say, why didn't he think about that before he brought 6 kids into the world?
Well, the mother had a choice. She could have had an abortion, or she could have kept the child. She decided the way that she wanted to have the child, so therefore, I guess it's not sweating her. I mean, it's not bothering.
You think it's her fault if she gets pregnant?
Well,
I mean, you fought her.
Well, maybe not. Like they say, mama, baby, papa, maybe.
Damn.
Bro. My phone froze on the first couple of seconds, man. I was trying to get my damn connection back.
You good, brother?
No,
Just
my
talking about a
man.
woman on the system. What you got, CJ?
Bro, Buddy said, what? Yo, my man's at the end is a savage. And it's crazy because I was low-key thinking like how many kids that nigga got? Because he was talking like, you know what I'm saying? Like he just
we'll
out
get to
here.
that in the next video. We'll kind of I'll walk you down the context of them, but I want to talk about the welfare system before
Bro,
I give the context to them. Yeah.
Motherfuckers treating welfare system as a gift for Mother's Day, like that's wild in and of itself. And for her to say that, I do like the fact that the one woman said that getting a welfare check, wait for a welfare check, she basically like she feel like she lazy, like she feel like, you know what I'm saying, like she'd rather be working because she just sitting around waiting for this check when she feel like she can make more if she was, you know, basically working or something. I like that mindset, but damn, at the same time, it's just like shit. I wish your nigga was around. That way both of y'all can have that damn mindset for real.
Now, CJ, let's stop right there. You made a good point. Based on what you just heard from her, do you think that internal thought happens to a lot of women that we see on welfare? Do you think a lot of them have that thought?
That because they on welfare, that they'd rather have a job instead of waiting around for that check?
Yep.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna say it's about 50-50. I know some women that are they know how to budget all the benefits from the government well to the point that they really are doing nothing. Like they know how to they know where to live, how to feed the kids and everybody. Look like you would have thought that she had a job. Well, she's budgeting everything so well. But I also know women that also, they feel like her, where they be like, yeah, they getting a little welfare check or whatever, but it's not enough. And I'm talking about these two women, these two separate women that I know today that are like that. Even though the economy that we live in right now, where everything's a lot more expensive, that woman that is managing so well, she got 3 kids and 2 baby daddies, but she's managing so well with all the government benefits and child support that she's getting without having a job. But I also know another woman that has a set of twins and she gets child support for them, but yet she still feel like she need a job and everything. So in a sense, it almost seemed like if you know how to manage all the shit that you getting from the government and the child support, you should be good.
Okay. Now I'm gonna break up the monotony. I ain't gonna keep asking y'all about the reactions to the video. Let's actually have the conversation now. Based on what we just saw. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, nah. I mean, go ahead. You can go ahead because I was about to say, like, go ahead.
All right. So based on what we're seeing so far, do you think that both political parties and our United States government should pull the rug from these programs?
Well,
based on the
let me go back.
outcomes.
Well, let me go back to the video then. Let me say what I was about to first say then. Because it's like, see, it's a saying, they were like, what you don't know won't hurt you. But what you don't know will hurt you more than, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like mentality. And they get the mentality from lack of education, from higher learning. Like, because it go back to what I was saying when you first asked, and I was like, do more. But like, them not knowing, because things kind of changed a little bit better today than it was even back then, being on government assistance. But like them in the unknown, you not knowing will make you lazy. It's like If you don't know what you want to do, you got to think of something to do to keep you from being lazy. We know that. Like if I not do nothing long enough, even if I don't have nothing to do, eventually I'm gonna become lazy. You know what I'm saying? That's even just like when you got breaks at work. Like breaks is for a reason. You end up sitting too long on your break, you don't even want to go back to work. You know what I'm saying? Not doing something long enough will make you lazy, especially if you don't know what the fuck to do. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right.
But
So let's
but
flip it
like
on its head though, Bino. Go ahead. And I'm gonna flip it. I'm
that's
gonna
what I'm
flip
about
it
to
on you.
say.
Go
It's
ahead.
just like back in the day when they gave black folks land. They gave black folks land, but black folks ain't know how to read. You know what I'm saying? So they either sold their land for pennies to a dollar or they used it for farm. Or it got bought up for pennies to a dollar and the white man created what, or the government created whatever they want out of it. You feel what I'm saying? But it's like the same shit, kind of like they give you shit, but they don't give you the education. Like a part of government assistance is making them go to finish school, making them pick up a trade, give them a time frame to be up there, and they have to stay up there with these regards. Like they got shit now where they make you like apply for jobs, but everybody know that's fabricated. You feel what I'm saying? You can fabricate that shit. Put them in some situations where you can't fabricate it.
Okay. So with that mentality in mind, right? Before I ask the question I had originally, you made me think of something. Back when the 19 thing happened and we were given stimulus checks, how many people do y'all know personally had revolved their life around the government assistance they were getting?
Too
Like
fucking many.
literally, they just lived off of lived off of it with no
Off
job.
them stimmy checks, because you couldn't go to work back then, right?
Too many.
A lot of people. Now, if you weren't essential, you were pretty much laid off, and
Yep.
they would give you stimmy checks, right? How
Yep.
many
Yeah,
people leaned on that when given the opportunity to?
a lot
Say
of 'em.
what? Say it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, how many people leaned on the stimulus checks when given the opportunity to, when their jobs were deemed unessential?
Shit, my job was deemed essential, and they were still given the opportunity to, and and people left and took the stimmy checks instead of staying and working. Because it was
All
at the
right,
time it was only
so
like a $200 difference. It was like 200. They would be making $200 less than what we was making at the time.
That's
right,
crazy.
so keep that in mind now. Now, I'm not saying that you all, but we know how the world and society sees women on welfare and people with government assistance. And like you said, we don't really smile upon that. But I don't know one single person that didn't cash that check. I didn't know one person that didn't re-alter their budget because to Bino's point, I was making just as much staying at home than I ever did going in the field busting my ass. So with that analogy, is it at least easier for us to have an understanding as to why there are people that stay stuck in the system? If we're given the opportunity, we know a lot of people that did the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, makes sense.
I mean, when it comes, I can't. I mean, but see, that's different. I mean, for me, people doing that shit. No, when that shit was over, they took their ass back to work.
Right, because they have a choice, right? But
Right.
imagine if the stimmy checks kept coming. How many people, if we were still getting stimulus checks to this day, would have been like, all right, and the government gave you a proposition. All right, you can keep getting the stimmy money, or can you ask back to work? How many people would have chose to go back to work?
Right. That's what you're saying about the government assistance shit too. You know what I'm saying? But if it's enough space for them, yeah, they could just do that shit. Shit. You feel me? I mean, they would have to change so much other shit, but yeah.
So what's the difference between that and people, guys and girls that receive government assistance? Isn't the mentality the same?
Is the mentality the same from back then to now?
Uh,
No,
yeah.
those receiving stimulus checks and those that are currently on government assistance. Is the mentality of the person that received the stimulus check and rebudgeted their lives around not
Yes.
having to
No,
work,
that
is it
mentality
the
is different.
same?
No,
How
it's
I
so?
don't
different.
think it's because the
Because, bro,
stimulus
like
check
that
was
shit.
short lived. It was completely temporary.
Yeah, and
Right.
shit, and niggas was sick as shit. That like motherfuckers was really goddamn. That shit was like a real state of emergency. Goddamn zombie, you know what I'm saying?
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse type,
Yeah,
apocalypse. Yeah, whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, apocalypse. How you say
Okay.
that shit? Say
Yeah,
it again.
apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
All right.
Yeah.
Apocalypse.
So
Yeah.
so let's walk down that road. we saw that a code, and I'm gonna call it a code for the sake of the algorithm, a code was dire enough for us to accept government assistance. How is that, or do you think there's a similarity between our mentality when the code put us in the house versus a woman that doesn't see a path forward? Do you think there's a similarity in mentalities of accepting government help?
That's I ain't gonna front, John. That right there is a little hard, man, because when now with the stimulus, some people really didn't have a choice, whereas a person on that's taking government assistance, again, that it's like it's like they got a choice, but then like let's keep it real. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because you got some people. I mean, you got some people that'll stay on and keep getting the stimulus check, but again, you got some people that stay on government assistance just, for as long as they motherfucking can, knowing damn well that you smarter than this and that you can make more, but you staying on it, whether because it's a free handout or whether just to stick it to your goddamn baby daddy just because you in your feelings, or you know what I'm saying? It's like with the government assistance, it's too many, it's too much open to say that it's the same.
Is it? Is it really that much different though? Think about what you just said. Circumstances put you in a scenario to where taking the government assistance was beneficial to your current life state. Your life had reached a state of emergency,
Mm-hmm.
and because you thought the opportunity was snatched away from you, we took daddy government check. How is that any different from a woman that's in the same scenario with a child she just brought into the world, accepting daddy government assistance? How is that? How is the mentality different? I need somebody to walk that down for me.
The mentality different because that's a clear her own choice.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, to me, it's different because the stimulus check was only necessary because the lifestyle that we had, where we were working the 9 to 5s or whatever, it was taken away from us not by choice. So, like some folks, like Bino said, they purposely left their job. Now those motherfuckers was different,
Yeah, but
but there
they
was
but
some
they
people
left their
that,
job because they had the option, because it was like it's even like you could go home if you don't want to risk being sick and dying. Like that's what the government was putting out. So it's like people went home like fuck
mm,
that. I'd rather go home, sit down, get this money. I ain't trying to die being out. You know what I'm saying? That's why they had that option. But like that's why
Right.
people left. But like,
And let
you
me let
know,
me be honest with y'all. I'm voluntarily being obtuse, and I'm playing devil's advocate for a reason. I totally agree with what
yeah.
y'all saying, but I still wanted to draw that comparison because to me, think about how welfare was introduced to the families in the 70s. It was an option. Hey, your daddy's gone off to war, your daddy's not here. Here's a stimulus check. The only difference is what we called it.
Mm.
You're in dire straits right now. You got this kid for whatever reason. The daddy ain't there. Here's some money.
and
Who's
that's a
turning
big
that
point
down?
we missing too, because that was supposed to end after the war. They was supposed to use money to put
Supposed
back
to.
in, yeah,
Yeah.
back in there so that wouldn't have to be like that anymore. But yeah, they never did though.
Another
They
thing,
you know what I'm saying?
another difference with that stimulus too. You accept that stimulus, you got to pay that shit back out of your taxes. I know for damn sure, man. I only took one check and I had to pay that shit back out of my taxes twice. And number two, I mean, with the you know what I'm saying, the government assistance is gonna be somebody paying it back, but usually it's not the person that's receiving it.
That's a fact.
Mm.
That's a good difference. I was just trying to walk down the actual mentality, not the result. So we can all see how if we're put in the wrong scenario and the government's offering an opportunity, so it seems, we see how easy it is to take the opportunity, correct?
Yeah,
Mm.
for the most part,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, how do we then convince those that are currently still receiving, let's call it stimulus check? How do we convince those women, those men, that this ain't good for you? How? How do we do that?
I mean, is it really?
Shit.
Are you really receiving assistance when you got to pay that shit back? Like,
No,
what's the
hey,
fucking?
no, but think about it. Like you just said, the women and the men that use these government programs don't have to pay it back.
See, the thing
Yeah.
about it is the only way I could convince them, because that's where I separate back then till today. I feel like they don't have to be convinced that they know, you know what I'm saying? They don't have to be convinced. I think it's more so what that lady said back then, for lazy. You feel what I'm saying? She doesn't like it because it makes her lazy. So if I had, and I think that's the bulk of people who has been on a long run of it, because everybody's gonna have their times you might need it, but them same people that have needed, the same people don't stay in those that government assistance position forever, because they elevated somewhere in life, financially, career wise, something happened. You feel what I'm saying? Whereas though they don't get it no more. You hear as much as many people complain how they don't get food stamps anymore, how they can't get government assistance when they used to get it because they did something, you know what I'm saying, that takes them out of that threshold that you spoke of. But so I don't think they need to convince them to get off. They need to convince them to be lazy, and I'm stop being lazy. And if I had to convince them to stop being lazy, I could be like, yo, they're going to take this shit away from you any minute now. They're going to take it away.
So you might want to
And
get off your
and also
ass.
change it, and I will educate them. It goes back to what I said before. Education, self-education, higher learning be what they keep away. Like they're gonna, so if I had to convince them, like you're asking, the mentality, they're gonna take it away. If you don't have such and 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 such, you're not going to be valuable or feasible to this corporation of a country. They're going to do something with you. You're going to be on the side of the road. You're going to be that story where you're the bum on the side of the road, and people gonna look at you like you was on drugs, not knowing that you just not a fucking. This shit is not the 70s and the 80s. They've been doing it long enough. When they snatch this shit away, you better have something that could be essential, quote, like we talked about, to them. Or your ass is gonna be a bum and people gonna be thinking you on drugs when really you just lost it all because you don't have something to keep up. So I would educate them to convince them. Like, bro, that shit gonna happen. And then I would tell them, you don't believe me, go search yourself. Like, this shit's about to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
But but in the same sense, ideally, it needs to be gone because more can be done as a whole for this country. Like we got to put in what we get back. It just it
And
is what it
motherfuckers, stop
is.
being lazy. Just stop being
It is
lazy.
what it is. This is not our own land. This is not where we grow our own food at. This is not where we raised our own animals. Get the fuck with it. Get with this shit. You're gonna have to get with it or die.
That's fair. Let's go to some more comments. Shout out to Yasmin. She said, some women purposely become mothers for the benefits. Some mothers never asked to be single mothers and made choices that unfortunately put them in a position. That's a fact.
Facts.
That's a fact. Everybody's scenario is a little different. You know what I'm saying? But I do agree with Bino. Like, I think we have to come to a realization, and this is why, honestly, it's tough, right? Because I see the benefit, the temporary benefit of families that do need that help. But I also can see how said help cripples the hell out of that same family
Yeah.
because there's no incentive to get off
Mentally,
of it.
yeah.
Yeah, there's no incentive
You
to
can't
stop.
convince them. Yeah, you can't convince them to like, hey, this shit's so easy. Might as well stick to what's easy. Like, oh, you tell me to go get rid of this. You telling me to do something that involves more work. To them, now you telling me to work for shit, or you want me to change my life to make it harder. So yeah,
Right. That's the mind fuck in it. That shit sound
yeah.
crazy to a motherfucker that been on it long enough, especially generational wise. To generation, that
You
shit.
got some
You telling
feedback,
me to?
Bino.
Oh, go ahead, go ahead. Telling me to
You get
work.
some interference, brother. Hey, Bino, we getting interference, brother. I'll unmute you in a few. But I do think that is the it's still there, brother. Bino, when you can drop out and come back in, and I
Yeah, probably
think
what he
that
gotta do.
yeah, I think that'll fix the
Y'all getting
feed.
feedback from me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's bad too.
Yeah, just drop off and come back. There you go. I think that when we're talking about this thing, bro, like I think that's where both political parties failed as people, is that you offered a temporary fix with no solutions on how to transition off said temporary fix. And it fucked us up, right? So you created a situation where people are now basing their lives off what you're giving them, and there is no path forward other than to keep waiting on the next check to come. And then if you set a threshold low enough, now these same unqualified men and women are receiving this benefit. When they try to go out into the world, why would I make $10 an hour if I can get more than that sitting on my ass getting money from you?
See, into them, they think that shit is, you work smarter, not harder. And it's like, nah, bro, it's one thing to work smart, bro. It's another thing for you to be lazy. Like you don't like, bro. For sometimes a handout ain't what it appears to be, man.
99 times out of 10, a handout comes with stipulations. You just don't see them.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
you're too desperate. You're too desperate to see them. But I do think that one solution I would think that the government should probably look into is incentivizing. I think that government support should probably come with a time limit. Meaning you got X amount of months to get this together. And then after a while, you're gonna have to do something different. Meaning we're gonna give you the incentive to do it. Meaning, all right, so you're going to get this government assistance for, let's say, the first year. After a year, we're going to reassess. But during this year, what we're going to also do is we're going to make sure that you're sitting in front of said candidates. You know, you got to do X amount of job interviews. We're going to make sure we put you in front of this many people based on the fact we know you in need. So the incentive is we're going to get you back into the working force. But while you do that, we're going to do all we can to support you to make it easier to do that. There is no support. There is no support for you to stop taking the system. What's the incentive?
Okay.
But that's
I
what I'm
see what you're
saying.
saying now.
But I mean, we all know. I mean, does the government really want to help you? Because then, if the government help you, you ain't gonna need the government.
Yeah, the government don't help you to help you. They help you because if it benefits them. If it don't benefit them, they ain't budging.
They help you to control you because they need your vote next
Yeah.
election cycle.
For shit. For shit.
That part. And
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that I don't think it should be a complete snatch. Like I'm gonna snatch everything from you right now. I think it needs to be gradual, but I think that both parties have to concede that having a class of people solely dependent on you doesn't even benefit our economy as a whole. The need for immigrants only exists because you have people that aren't paying a livable wage to do said jobs.
For shit.
Yeah. They
So
definitely
think
paying them
about
boys low.
exactly, but think about if the same money I was going to give you in government assistance, I would actually be your employer and pay the difference if you were to have a low paying job. So let's say government assistance, let's say that evens out to someone working a job at $15 an hour, right? As opposed to me giving you the whole $15 an hour, what if I told you if you get a job paying $10 an hour, I'll pay you the $5 an hour difference? That way, taxpayers don't have to cover the whole bill. The person that's on the assistance is now contributing to society, and the government, us as taxpayers, have to pay less.
That made too much sense.
Don't it
Man.
though?
When shit make too much sense, it ain't gonna happen. When it sounds too good, it ain't gonna happen.
Yep.
Don't it
It
though?
ain't gonna happen.
Hey, you, mic check.
Yeah, we hear
You
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 now, brother.
good?
You good now, bro. But I mean, do y'all think that's a viable solution, at least to offer to a senator or a congressman or a governor? Do y'all think that's viable? Do you think that makes sense?
Hell yeah, shit. It's one a
Yeah,
minute.
it makes sense.
So it
I ain't
makes
gonna.
too much sense.
I'll throw you another one just to go ahead and cut the cost out. You know what I'm saying, off the SNAP benefits and whatnot. If a person is on that, why should they pay for fruits and vegetables?
Mm.
I swear I've always felt that way, man. I feel like if a person's on like food stamps, shit like fruits and vegetables, especially whole foods, not the shit in the jars, like the canned shit, but like whole foods, like literally a fucking pineapple or something. I feel like you shouldn't have to. I feel like you shouldn't have to pay for that.
Hey,
That's a
yo, I'm
fact.
just that shit some great ideas, on Strata. But before all that happened, they'll just make prostitution legal. They should just make prostitution legal everywhere, right? So when dudes just want to get their rocks off, just to get their rocks off. They get their rocks off. The out y'all. I'm putting my camera on, bro. Cause y'all think I'm playing. Y'all laughing, bro. But think about it, bro. But think about it. Look at the evolution of marijuana. Look at the evolution of, opiums. Look at the evolution of this stuff, bro. They need
And now,
all these
now the
things that
next
was
thing is
deemed
low key
illegal.
porn.
The evolution of alcohol, tobacco. You feel what I'm saying? Like they need to go ahead. And I'm not saying it because I support prostitution. I'm saying it because what
It's
happens
the
is you
same
don't get
thing.
dudes making, yeah, and you don't get dudes making these babies and these women getting put on this. You know what I'm saying? Now they just can fend for themselves. And when they can fend for themselves, they'll be in this. You know what I'm saying? They'll be in this force with us. They got these rights to be in this force with us. What changes is them having kids and not having a man a part of of these kids' lives. And a two-parent household puts them in positions where, look at the economy. It's more and more. The economy grew, like the cost to live grew as the years gone. So it's making it even harder, and that's what makes generations of women stay on these things, because they continue to have sex out of wedlock with guys who don't want to have a family with them. So what happens is guys have sex. That's what guys gonna do by nature. So they just need to make prostitution legal everywhere. The outlook on prostitution needs to be looked different and not laughed and deemed upon. Because even if a female just don't, you just go be a prostitute and make your bread. They're not going, you know what I'm saying, and make your bread. Either way, prostitution gonna work for both parties. They just need to evolve. They just need to do that, bro. That's what's going on, bro. Because
I
no
think
I
matter,
mean,
cause no matter what happened, a dude is gonna have unprotected sex with a woman that he don't want to be raise a family with, bro.
I
And
think
long as that, go ahead, my fault.
there's two flaws with what you're saying. The first assumption would be that the women on government assistance will volunteer to be prostitutes, and the
No, no, no,
second
no.
is
I ain't
that
say that. I ain't say that. I ain't
right.
say
And I
that.
know that's why I said that's why what you said is a solution to another problem we not attacking. Because if the women that are on government assistance and if the idea is to get them off, if they're not up to sign up for prostitution, it wouldn't work.
No, I'm
And
not saying the ladies on government assistance. What I'm saying, dudes be. I'm still blaming it on the men not being around, and we
okay,
cannot convince a world of men not to fuck something that ain't their wife. You can't convince them of that. We can't
mm,
convince certain women to have delete their babies. They don't believe in that. So what I'm saying is a lot of this sex that happens strictly because of sex. The whole mentality of where a
but
dude got to get sex from and all that. The whole mentality how society has you know what I'm saying, has colonized the ideal of sex in general is the reason why, you know what I'm saying, with this shit going on. So like the outlook of society got to change in order for it not to be this, because like what you saying, Straight, is a good idea. They could have been did that. That's still depending on the government to do right. We still depending on the government to do right, even if we use your idea, which is a great idea, but that's depending on the government to do right. Now, instead of depending on giving us some money, we depending on them to do right. We know they're not going to do that. They could have been did that 30
if
years
it don't
ago.
benefit them, if it don't benefit them,
and
Real
that's
shit.
the fucked up part. They just don't see the benefit because the benefit is now you have more people contributing to the actual fucking society and the economy. Now I can tax the $10 an hour you getting. Now you're a taxpayer. You went from being a tax expense to now you're not a liability. Now you're an asset to the economy. Right now they're liabilities.
And so you might be talking what's about to happen, but we ain't gonna get into the politics. But I know somebody that
Mhm.
mentioned that a lot of them
Yeah.
jobs left. That's another reason why a lot of black families ended on government assistance. A lot of those good old jobs and those good city industrial environments left and went overseas. We fucked up.
And also, Bino, to throw another reason why I don't know if prostitution solves the problem is because my retort would be a lot of the children that do exist from families that are on welfare, even though raw sex was the result or the direct causation, there was a relationship of love or strong attraction
at
to
the
these
time.
said exactly. So it's not just a man getting his rocks off. No, it's a woman that he loved, the woman he was with. It was probably his girlfriend. Probably, you know what I'm saying? They were in a relationship, baby popped up. So I don't know if I know that we all know that unprotected sex is a direct causation of children, whether wanted or unwanted, but it's still unclear as to how much we have to put weight into attraction being a thing. Because it's not just sex. Because men ain't going around fucking the local prostitute or the local crackhead because it's there. No. You
Man,
still want to like the person you having sex with.
them same niggas in that video who thought the way they thought will fuck a fucking prostitute or crackhead. Stop playing. Them same
Real
niggas
spit.
that
And
thought like
That
that.
mass.
nigga with the 6
And
kids.
mass.
In mass, if it wasn't looked down upon, they would. Hell yeah, they would. If it wasn't looked down upon in mass, they would. I'm gonna put it like this. I'm gonna do some. No, I ain't even no numbers guy, but I'm almost positive, right? I'm a overseas and where I'm at right now. I ain't seen a project here or a daddy missing here yet. And prostitution is legal in this state.
But check this though, Bino. How is it now? All
That's
right. So
wild.
let's walk
That's
down this road.
wild.
Let's walk down this road though, Bino. Would you agree that prostitution now exists as has probably existed since the biblical ages? Can walk
First,
this path with me.
I want to mention that I don't push prostitution. What I'm saying
Oh yeah, I know you don't, but
is
let's walk it.
it's all I'm saying is what I'm trying to say. What results in these single mother households is niggas breeding, niggas doing nature, having sex. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Releasing
But
seeds.
walk down this road with me. Would you agree that prostitution has been a part of our society since the biblical age?
It has been
First
illegal.
occupation.
Yes, but
Okay.
it's been illegal. It's
Okay.
always been looked down the same way.
Has the legality stopped people from doing it?
Nah.
What you mean?
Okay. So has the fact that it's been legal
And
stopped people from?
stopping mass people from doing it. Yes.
You mean to tell me that because prostitution illegal, that there are people that don't get prostitutes? Come on, Bino.
At a mass, it's a lot of we don't. It's a whole bunch of us that we don't. Because how you look down upon it, yes, it's a whole bunch of men ain't never bought no pussy before.
But Bino, go back to my question though. Has it being illegal stopped men from participating?
Nah.
Today?
Oh no.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So if said men are participating in prostitution and we still have these babies, is the sex the problem?
But that's the thing about it. That you now we speaking hypothetically.
Are
you know
we?
What I'm saying? And I'm speaking and I'm already yes, because you said if we still have the babies. I already have said in my mind, I'm not saying we won't still have the babies, we won't still have as much as single family households. Because when niggas don't have to say sweet nothings and lie and do all this other stuff and make a woman feel like that he's gonna be with her just to have sex. Because at a very young age, most of the time these single family households come from guys and girls that are at young ages. So how and why we even approach women is not because we see a future in them, not because we think they're gonna be our wife one day. Our hormones make us come up with all the game we give a woman at a very young age. Our hormones, not nothing else, nothing more. So
But
what I'm
Bino,
saying is, so that's what I'm saying.
I
That's what I'm
understand what
saying.
you're
Like,
saying, but would you also agree with me that the men that we say are having unprotected sex have these kids? Is it safe to assume that those same men would also get a prostitute?
yes.
Okay, so if they're getting prostitutes and they're still getting women pregnant, don't you have to concede that there has to be something else going on
No,
to
I
make them
don't.
No,
keep
because
having kids?
No, I don't because it's
to
proof in
support
concept in
Bino,
no, hold on. Because it's no, I don't. Because it's proof in concept in other things already. Like I just said, marijuana, opiums. It's proof in concept already how society looked at something. It was changed, the outlook was changed once it became legalized,
Okay,
and the way
stay there, stay there,
society changed
stay there.
the outlook on it.
Right. So let's stay there. With the legalization of marijuana, do you think that stopped people from smoking, or did it encourage more people to smoke?
I don't know. We don't know because the numbers don't. I don't think it would encourage more people to smoke. I think the same amount of people going. Yes, it'll encourage more people
Okay.
to smoke, and they don't got to get
All
in
right.
trouble for it. They don't got to get
So
in trouble for it.
let's walk it like this. Do you think that the people that were smoking weed and finding their weed illegally stopped because it was legal?
No, you can't just drive it on that just that one line. No, of
Same
course they didn't
concept.
stop.
Same concept. Meaning, if you're
But
going
did
to
they?
do
But
something,
no, it
this is
ain't
my point.
because
This
if
is
it's
my
the same
point, though.
concept, but they
Go
stopped
ahead.
getting in trouble though. They stopped getting in trouble though, Strata. They stopped getting in trouble for it though. So if that's the case, it'd be the same concept. Mothers stop having a whole bunch of baby mamas.
So I think that the other flaw in what you're saying is if prostitution were to become legal across the board, a couple of things would happen. You would have to probably have protection to have sex with these prostitutes because the idea is whatever entity would control them would not want them having STDs and kids. So that would
Right.
also it would
We
definitely
we
uptick
walked
the
this
use of
down before,
condoms.
Strata.
Right.
We walked that down. What dudes deny
But
sex because you make them put on condoms? What dudes say no?
right, they will make you do it. But now check what I'm telling you. If I'm going to still be able to release myself by going to a prostitute, but I still have my girlfriend that's going to have unprotected sex, wouldn't I still get the outcome of a kid even with legal prostitution?
No, because that's my whole point. I think dudes would change their look of who they do that with.
I
Be-
think you're
I think
minimizing how dudes feel about the women that are getting pregnant. That's it.
nah, the hormones be, man. That's what I'm saying. It be the hormones when you be young. Because
No, all
cause
right,
dudes,
Bino. All right, now I got a general question for you though, Bino.
dudes our
How
age,
many niggas
dudes
you know don't love their baby mama when they was fucking them?
when they was fucking them, when they got with them. But
Exactly.
like I just said,
Exactly.
nah, it's not
So it
exactly.
had
'Cause I
nothing to
just
do with the
said
sex. It had nothing to
no.
do with the sex. They
No,
love
it
the
did,
women,
Strategy,
bro.
because you're trying to overlook what I said before. It happens mostly at a young age. Is when you're young. Hormones is when you're young. So
I
yeah,
know niggas on baby mama 4 at 30 plus that love that bitch and she got pregnant. And they don't love that bitch no more.
to a very minimum, man. To a very
Is
minimum.
it?
It be
I
them.
don't know a
Yes,
nigga. I don't know a nigga that we know that got a baby by a woman that didn't love her at the time prior to conceiving. We got to cut that shit, bro.
he
So I don't
thought
know
he
if it's
loved her.
just the sex, bro. It can't be
Hormones.
just the sex, bro.
It's hormones.
It can't. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think that's a bad idea. I think that what you're saying would cause a drop maybe in unwanted children, but I still think that we have to put and leave on the table that no, the majority of people are not going into the scenario wanting it to go wrong. It just
Hey, all
does.
right. All right, think about, all right, let's not forget about the hoes. Think about the hoes that got 6 baby daddies and who love popping it. You feel what I'm saying? Do you think they do it and be on government and struggling? Do you think right now, if they be like, if the world changed the outlook of prostitution and they was hiring at Strata's boom boom room, you don't think they would apply?
No, they probably wouldn't let them.
Man, you
Only
crazy,
because
man.
I'm gonna
If
tell
they
you
would
why I
have,
say that. I'm gonna tell you why I say that, bro. Prostitution has been demonized for thousands of years. Even with
but
it
I
being
didn't
legal,
Strata's. Bro, you can't. We can't
I'm
have
gonna
this
tell you why. I'm
conversation
gonna
if
tell
you're
you
gonna
why. No, no,
overlook what I
no,
said. I
no, no, no,
said we
no.
changed the outlook on it. I
Right.
said we changed the
Even if we
outlook.
change the outlook, those women know that once they choose that profession, ain't no getting out of it. Because once a nigga realizes that you a prostitute and I can pay you for that pussy, you think I'm ever take you serious? Ever.
Bro. They
And you're
don't
going
that
on the
happen.
assumption that the
That
women
does
that are women
happen.
that have, but you want to go on the assumption that women that would have sex for money if it was transactional, you're going on the assumption that at some point they wouldn't want to build a family,
I didn't
or they
say
wouldn't
all
want to
women.
stop.
I didn't say all women. I said hoes. See, that's why I said hoes for a reason. Because we got to stop acting like we don't have hoes that exist in this world
Right.
that get
But what I'm
pregnant.
telling you, but it's the thing though, Bino, can we admit?
No, oh man,
Now,
if we
now,
gonna do,
now, now we're gonna talk. Now we're gonna talk.
are we
Can
gonna
we admit?
acknowledge hoes getting pregnant, bro? Are we gonna
No,
acknowledge
no.
that?
Now we're gonna
All right,
walking down
in
that.
my
We're gonna
opinion,
walk down that path, Bino. That's what I'm telling
there's
you.
they but so many hoes that really get pregnant from what I've
Exactly.
seen.
That's my point.
I'll
The
be
you say
hoes
real
that
with
what?
you.
get
You
it's
say
not
what?
I
the
know a
hoes
lot
that
of
get
Hold on.
women.
pregnant, bro.
I
I can't.
know a lot of women. I know a lot of women that are admitted. They admit to being hoes or former hoes or whatever the case. They got less kids than those women that aren't hoes.
Exactly. The
I know a
hoes
Bro,
don't
lot of
get
them.
pregnant, bro.
Now you get subjective to what we consider a hoe. You feel what I'm saying? But at the same time, though,
What
at the
a
same
hoe is a
time,
woman that just sleeps around a
this is the
lot.
reason why I said it. This is the reason why I said it. Stratus said it's guys right now that still be of age on their 4th baby mama that damn
Loving her.
still be saying baby baby. And that's the reason why I said, oh, well, can we acknowledge hoes then? Because it's hoes that still had 1 kid, 2 kid, 3 kid, 4 kid, 5 kids, and still doing the same shit like the dude. So in my mind, at that point, like you hoeing, you might as well go dip up in. You feel
But
me? And get some bread.
my pushback to that would be most women that have those 3, 4 baby daddies.
Now
If you
I'm
talk to
kidding,
them,
but you know,
yeah, I know you
I'm not
kidding.
saying that I'm not kidding. I'm for real. But when I'm saying idealistically, like the outlook on shit is the reason why we live by certain things is the nutshell what I'm saying in
True.
the first place.
But I think if we recategorize hoes and make prostitution legal, I don't know if that would stop the effect of unwanted children being brought into the world. I just don't know if I can make that correlation. I don't
So
think
what's the
so.
main reason why unwanted children come into this world?
It goes back
Lust,
to the
Miscommunication.
lust.
Oh, somebody said it first off, the first answer. That's the one I wanted. That's what I,
lust,
who's lust.
lust. In the heat of the moment, y'all, you got the vibe, she got the vibe, she feeling you, you feeling her, and then y'all go at it. Now I know, yeah, there's protection and whatnot, but like the buddy said in the video clip, he said these women don't be wanting those condoms, and that's they're actually all women that will say that they it feels better without the condom. They'll say that. Now, to what we had said before, if a woman says, "Hey, before we start, you got to put a condom on," no man's gonna be like, "Man, I ain't put on no condom. Let's just get to it." They're not gonna do that shit. I've done it. I'm pretty sure some of y'all done it. At some point, we probably paused the whole entire scene to hop in the car to go get a condom or some shit, and then came back and was ready to go. So that ain't stopping nothing. But
Yeah.
in the heat of the moment, if a woman just be like, "I'm trying to go now. I'm trying to do this now," a man also ain't gonna say no to that neither. So it's just
But
like
you know
if the
what I
How
shit
many
think?
happens and a
times we
baby
done
come
had
up 9 months later, it is what it
how many
is.
times
One at a time. Go
Strata,
ahead, you know?
I just want to ask a quick question to y'all. How many times y'all we have had post nut clarity? Probably every damn near every time. Because out of all the women we done had sex with, we ain't except for Strap never been married. So get every time we had sex,
Josh was
we
married.
had post and
Yeah,
Josh. Okay, I didn't know Josh.
Yeah.
So damn near
yeah.
every other man in this world that's never been married had post nut clarity.
Yeah, I
Mm.
think that
That's real shit.
yeah, but I think what makes the conversation
Petty as a
difficult
motherfucker.
is the lust happens, but before the lust happens, there are people that have a love for each other. Now, I think to go back to that video, what I thought was interesting was he assumed that the woman would make the assumption that because I wear a condom, I'm stating she's dirty. So I think it goes back to miseducation to Mia's point earlier. When Queen Mia was saying it's an education problem. We tend to think and assume things that just ain't true. So he
Mm.
assumed that if I wear a condom, the woman gonna think that I'm saying she's dirty. Who the fuck told you that? One hoe that wanted it raw? Do the majority of women think like that? No, but in your hood, that might have been a question you got asked one time, and because you got asked it one time, you think every woman thinks like that.
All of
It's
them
an
think that.
education problem. No
Okay.
woman, you see what I'm saying? Like it's literally you go. One woman told you some wild shit, and now you ran with it, applying it where it don't need to apply. One woman told you, "We trying to say I got something. What you need a condom for? You trying to say I got something?" Now you running around in the world telling your sons, telling your homeboys, "Bro, don't be wearing a condom. Girl gonna think you got something." No, that stupid hoe you was fucking thought that, bro. That's not a reality. There's a lot of miseducation that goes on in the hood, bro. We know this.
Yeah.
One nigga
No, that's
experienced one
what I'm
thing.
saying.
He on the block. You talking to 8 of the young homies. Now they taking your shit as gospel because you've been off the porch a little longer, and you just
Mm.
miseducated a whole generation because of one stupid chick you ran into that said some dumb shit.
No, that's true.
Think about how much dumb shit you heard from OGs. No disrespect, but we're gonna keep it real. Think about how much dumb advice you got from OGs that you realize that you didn't realize was stupid until you got put in the same scenario.
Man, I ain't gonna never forget when the motherfucker said, "Oh, you can hear your chest, you drink liquor." Shut the fuck up.
Stupid ass advice. Like niggas be
All the four
saying
locals he
dumb
was
shit,
drinking, I
bro.
ain't had no face, I ain't had no hair on my chest. Oh man, you want to get you want to get that facial hair, boy? You got to go down on him. Shut the fuck up. I had a whole mustache and everything, and you know how long it was if I finally went down on the girl. Shut the fuck up. Right? That bullshit. Who the
So
fuck told you that? A woman probably told you that. You got to go down to these girls to get that facial hair. No, a woman probably made that one up.
you see what I'm
Yeah,
telling you? How
yeah.
one bad advice can fuck up a whole generation. Now apply that to videos we've been watching. You had people in the 70s confused. Their children in the 80s are now taking bad advice and bad scenarios and repeating it. Now you got children that are also products of your badass decisions from badass advice, bro. That's the whole point of
Well,
both of these shows, bro.
that one girl that interviewer had, he said that he was like, well, your mom was a single mother, your grandma was a single mother, and they didn't give you no advice. She's like, no, what advice you gonna give your child? So basically, she acknowledged herself that her mom and grandmother was single mothers for whatever reasons, but ultimately, none of them actually gave her advice, and she still ended up being in the same position as them. even after
Yeah.
acknowledging that they were in those positions. So sometimes you can see your ancestors or whoever make those poor decisions, and then you end up falling into the same thing anyway.
Mm.
Mm.
Now I
I
got a
ain't
deep.
trying.
Go ahead.
I ain't trying to derail too much, right? But what if they fucked around and made a law and be like, yo, y'all can't get these niggas no pussy until they file their taxes and show they got them. If you do, it's a fucking illegal. You have a baby, it's illegal. We're gonna take your baby and lock you the fuck up.
That's wild.
Hey, shit.
That's
Then
wild.
I bet you all of us gonna want prostitution to be legal then, motherfuckers. Ha! That's my point. That's my point. See, that's my point. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
wild.
Like, even if we talk about one side of the law, they fuck around and put the law on us like, hey, don't have sex with no men until they show until they show that they are, they
They
are,
don't do the taxes.
yeah, they do every, it shows that every year. Then if you get pregnant, or they ain't gonna be able to find out. So that way you can still have sex, but guess what y'all gonna do? Both of y'all gonna say put on a condom. She won't say no goddamn, what you think I got something now? Cause she know if you fucking around and get me pregnant, my ass going to jail, we ain't gonna have no baby. You feel me? It's mad, like, but I guess everybody will vote against that though. See, this free
Yeah.
will shit is really what got us fucked up.
Yeah. Free will fuck us up, man. I want to get into the next clip. We're gonna dig in a little deeper into Alice and Timothy, the couple that we watched with the welfare.
These couples is built different, bro.
They are, bro. But this was a hard reality, man. Let's see if I can get this. Okay.
Alessandra Jackson is 23. She's the mother of two, expecting a third, and is not married. She too lives in Newark. Like nearly half of all black children in America, Alice's children are being raised in poverty. They live a subsidized life in subsidized housing. But that's not what Alice wanted or intended. Alice lives in one of the toughest neighborhoods in Newark, in the project where she was born and brought up. But she hoped that one day she would move out of here. She graduated from high school, went to business college for a year, and worked steadily until she became pregnant with her first child.
I was doing so good before I was pregnant. I had a little job. I kept money, stuff. But after I had the child, that's when money started going low.
What was your reaction when you found out you were pregnant the first time? Did you intend to get pregnant?
It wasn't planned. But when I got pregnant, I wanted it. I wanted to be a mother. It was exciting to me. I just thought I had something of my own. A little child is going to call me mommy. After you have them, it's hard. You got to bomb this, you got to bomb that.
Malik is Alice's firstborn. He is now 3 years old. Soon after he was born, Alice, then 20, quit her job to take care of him. 16 months later, her second child, Antoine, was born. When we met, she was 6 months pregnant with her third child. Timothy McSeed is 26, the father of Alice's 3 children. Though they're not married, they see each other regularly.
When I first met him, I didn't like him. But when he started talking to me, it seemed like he was like a man that wanted to have a home, have children, take care of them.
Did you talk with Timothy about how you were going to support the baby when you were pregnant?
No, that's what we didn't do. No, we didn't even talk about how we was going to support the child.
Timothy McSeed held his last steady job 2.5 years ago. He's been arrested several times on robbery and drug charges. He was brought up in Newark by his mother, who was 16 when Timothy was born. His father has another family in another city. Timothy has a talent for drawing, which he has never developed. He dropped out of high school at 16 and spent 2 years in the Job Corps. He was 23 when he and Alice had their first child. Timothy does not support any of his children. How many children do you have?
6.
He fathered those 6 children by 4 women. He also had 2 more children by 2 other women, but one died in infancy and the other was aborted. We asked him about the birth of his first surviving child.
It was kind of a funny experience because, me and the girl was just messing around, right? and she was going with somebody else. She used to be an old girlfriend of mine. She managed to get popped up by me.
Okay, that's the second baby. The third was
Mustafa. He was the third.
that was by another lady.
Mrs. Ward. Yes, I go see him every now and then.
How old is he now?
He's 5, if I'm not mistaken.
Bro. Oh, yo, these fucking clips is sad bangers. Like, the whole
Shit
time watching
depressing.
this shit, I'm just over here
What's up,
just
Venus?
like, damn, like, buddy
What's up,
going,
Venus?
she, motherfucker, who that? What up, Venus?
What's
Like,
good, Venus?
shit.
That shit depressing as hell.
And then you find out that the girl that's got 2 with a third on the way, you find out the baby daddy was a nigga we've been talking shit about from the very beginning with 6 kids. My man couldn't even think right about the kid they said, Mustafa. Yeah, that's the one. Like, that probably wasn't even accurate. When did Lion King come out? That shit probably wasn't even accurate, nigga.
Yo,
Like,
nigga,
bro.
that nigga is a problem, bro. Like,
A
flat the
problem.
fuck
Hey,
out,
bro, it go back
bro.
to what I was saying. Just a lot of
Shit.
sexual energy. See, y'all be thinking see, I tell you, bro, one day I ain't gonna be crazy, bro. Like all
No,
that
but
sexual
all right,
energy,
Bino.
what
I'm
he
not
all
saying
that
you're
sexual
crazy,
energy,
but you
and
know
he
what's
created
crazy?
he created four single, one man created four. And I
Single
ain't
mother.
too far removed from it. That's what I'm saying. But I be speaking from experience. When I speak out loud, I already done walk that path too. Like that's what
Right,
it
but
be about.
Bino,
Like,
this the thing though, bro. Even with the women you fathered and sired children with, you love those women at some point. We
yeah,
saw
I
that
had it.
same man. No, hold on, let me finish though. We saw that same man at that birthday party, kissing that woman in the mouth, bro.
Hey, but listen though, love go when you talk about love though, you can't really measure love.
Uh, uh, uh,
Don't measure.
uh, th-
Now I'm saying you can't measure every nigga
Man,
love the same. You feel what I'm saying?
okay,
Like what I'm saying though,
okay.
because like you say you love them from that point. Like, no, I didn't.
See,
I didn't though. Because love look different for me now. I know what love
okay.
is.
Pause there. So, are we now
damn, boy.
stating that most men of that era confused love and lust?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So that's why you gotta get your rocks off. It's the hormones that make you confuse the lust and love. You gotta get your fucking rocks off because you got post nut clarity. You be like, what the fuck? Then it might get you to a point where you see for real.
But this
Yeah,
the thing,
I'm a
Bino. We
chill. All right, I'm a
Bino.
chill,
No,
man.
no, no.
Yo,
Keep
Vito,
cooking,
what?
cause it's good
Yeah, keep
convo.
going.
But see, this the thing though, Bino. We can't keep putting it on post nut clarity because these same men are going back to these same women and having multiple children.
Nigga, he had
How
another
clear?
one.
How
And
clear
another
was the
one.
post nut?
And another one.
Hey, bro,
Exactly.
that is a percentage of them. That is a percentage. But then you got
Majority
the
or minority,
but
bro.
the numbers move because your boy Richie there in that video, he made up 4 households by himself.
Right. But again, think about what we just said. If your argument is post nut clarity and that it's a lustful thing, if you got a bad result, would we argue that men in
We
that similar situation as Tim, would we
I'm
argue that
yes,
after the baby came that they would hit again?
I'm arguing that the bulk of the numbers would go down. Yes. I'm arguing the bulk of the numbers will go down. Because even if y'all don't make it relationship wise, you gonna be even if a nigga end up making a kid, a man end up making a kid with a woman, and then he's still gonna end up being there for his kid. So the bulk of the fathers not being in those kids' lives at all, yes, a bulk of them numbers will go down. Yes, a
No,
bulk of
no,
them
no.
numbers are post nut clarity. Yes,
Wait a minute. If the bulk of the numbers were posting that clarity, then you wouldn't have repeat baby
I'm just
daddies
saying
with the
it
same
would
women,
be
though.
no. When I no, that's you talk. That's what I just said. You speaking of a percentage. That's not everything. What I'm saying, a lot of numbers would drop if niggas had outlets to not do that. Is what I'm saying.
Okay, so all right, so
Because
I
even
got a
if you would,
follow-up question for you, bro.
uh-huh.
When are these men having post-nut clarity? Is it before the
I'm not
sex,
talking about the
after
ones
the
that's going
first?
back. I'm not talking about the ones that's keep going after when that baby
Okay.
come. When that baby come. When the
So
baby
how
come.
would you explain
So
repeat
I won't say, all right, so let me change it. Not post.
scenarios?
I won't say post nut clarity. I say post baby clarity.
But again, in both examples we just
Put
watched,
that
that
shit on
first
a
woman,
shirt.
Hold on, check this out. But check this out though. Like seriously, the first video we watched, that woman was 17. They had that baby. Then she got pregnant again and got an abortion.
I know you speaking
Hmm.
on that.
So
I
what?
can't.
So could it clearly be post baby clarity
No, what I'm just saying.
if you
That's why I
went back and
said
did it again?
Strata. That's why I said the bulk of the numbers, bro. Like most people don't have. Most women don't have a repeated offender as a father, and they not in the kids' lives.
I know
Most
good
women don't
goddamn well you're
have.
not gonna sit on this panel and lie
Most
on
women
Beyonce's
don't.
internet. I know you ain't
Most
finna do that shit.
nah, bro. It's not a lie.
Man,
it's easy.
hey,
It
I
don't.
don't know
Big
about that
dog.
one.
Let me
I'm gonna have to
finish.
agree
Let
with
me
Put a
finish.
Bino.
number
I'm gonna
on
agree
Let
it.
with
me
Bino.
finish. It's easy to point out the ones we know, but the bulk of them don't have repeated offenders as fathers, and them fathers not in the kids' lives. Maybe they not. No,
I'm
no,
more
bro,
to
no.
believe
You can
Bino.
name some, but
I'm
no.
more to agree with
Come on,
Bino on that one.
Strata cap now. That's not
Yeah.
majority of them, bro. That's not
When I'm trying
majority
to
of
think
them.
of all the women I know that have like
That's
three,
not
four,
majority
five
of them, bro.
kids,
That's not
majority of
majority
them
of them, bro.
kids are actually all have different fathers.
Different
So
baby daddies, bro. Yes,
I
bro.
can't.
Yes,
And
I ain't
bro.
gonna front.
and like I told you, I
Most of
got a
the
lot of
women I
female
know,
friends. Like, yeah. So
most of the women I know that got multiple babies, man. It's leaning towards it's that one person that keep coming back. It's that one person that they think maybe he either changed or maybe he saw a change in me. But
But
with
is that
me, and I ain't gonna
relationship
front.
wise,
I
Josh,
got
or
friends.
father
What's up?
wise? Is that father wise or relationship wise though? He might have multiple. He's still a father though to the kids, is what I'm saying. It might be relationship wise. He got repeat offenders, but not father wise. Father wise, you're not a deadbeat, and then you have another one. And he a deadbeat. Then you had three by him. He been a deadbeat since the first. Yes, you have those, but majority of the repeat offenders is just relationship shit. Father shit,
Okay.
they be there.
I'll concede that for this
Yeah.
argument. Now argue this. What's the excuse for said man having multiple baby mothers, regardless of whether they had that man's first child? If you see that man is already 3, 4, 5 babies in, what's the excuse for you being the next one?
because she wanted him because he was bow legged, because he had eyes like Jay Strada, because he was a skin tone like Jay Strada, because the nigga was 6'2", 6'3", like me and Bino. There was some traits on that nigga that made him attractive, and so guess what? She
Shit
was willing to
wicked.
open them legs and throw that shit in the circle, square, hexagon, pentagon,
She's
and went to
wicked.
sleep. And then a month or two later, guess who found out that the two strips talk about that motherfucking stick? Hello. That's what.
Okay.
That's what.
Okay. All
I
right.
only got
So
one daughter, but I got a hell of a bunch of inboxes and DMs that'll show you some of these motherfucking girls wanted me for features. Physical features. They just found a nigga cute, a smile or something. And if I was this whole ass nigga, like the stereotypes try to display us to be, I have multiple kids too. If I was to fall under all them. So no, a lot of women really do that shit for features sometimes. Yeah, they might want you for your benefits, but there's women that just want a nigga because he look good. Don't act
that's
like you
fair.
ain't got a bunch of motherfucking women that came at you, Jay, Bino, Josh, at some point in time before you was married, where women was coming at you just strictly off your looks. They don't even know what the fuck you do for a living. They don't know what you got in your wallet. It's just off your looks they want to throw you the draws. Come on now.
Like, oh, we make a
Okay.
pretty baby. Like, yeah, I done heard that. I done heard that a couple
And
of times.
Yeah, I
what
know
if
you
you
heard
seen
that.
her? What if you seen that same shorty at the club, but right before you went to the club, you stopped by the brothel? Would you goddamn?
They gonna run that shit back. They gonna run that shit back. If I just dropped $40 at that brothel and then went to that club, that same girl that was shooting that shot, bitch, I ain't thinking about you. I got Don Julio. I'm feeling
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
hey, he gonna make his point solid. I'm saying that right now.
I just don't think that legal prostitution is gonna. I don't think that it's not that I can't. I just can't concede that that's the point to bring your families back together because I don't think one has to do anything. I don't think it has anything to do with the other. I think that the reason why that is true because for the amount of sex is being had, the amount of sex is currently being had in the world is not resulting in children.
Why though? Let me stop you. We're not gonna talk about it because I know it's a sensitive subject, but the numbers show why it's not as much.
No. But even if you want to include deletions, still, if deletions on the table,
Nah, I
when you
mean,
look
yeah. I
right,
mean,
if
yeah,
you look
you're
at
not
how
dropping them
many
every
right,
time you drop them off. You're not having
exactly.
something every time you drop them off.
Exactly. So that's why I said I don't think that making people pay for the frequency of having sex would stop broken families, which is why I do concede that it would remove the lust from men to your post nut clarity uh point Bino, but I don't think it incentivizes for when the babies get here for the men to stay with the family. Now, my follow-up question to that would be this.
Hmm.
How how do we right the wrong for the next generation? Because clearly, what we've seen from the 70s to the 80s, and hell, let's even go back to the 60s, because that woman in the first video, her mother and her grandmother was a product of the same thing. So,
Hmm.
based on that, the frame of thinking is that the generations beneath us are paying more attention to our actions and repeating our results than listening. So, with that logic, how do we become the generation to make the change? What do we do different to our children watching us as we are all fathers?
I mean,
What
I'm
do
gonna
we
let them
do? What do
go
we say?
because I know what I'm
I
gonna
mean,
say, so I'm gonna let them go. It go back to what I've
I
been
mean,
saying all show. So
shit. I mean, my only tad bit of advice, man, is just, I mean, yeah, you know they watching you, but again, when you sit down and you talk to them, you know what I'm saying? Talk to them, don't talk at them. Remember that you were that age too. You know
All
what
right,
I'm
Josh,
saying?
Josh, let's go. Let's do this. Let's do this, man. Right now I'm gonna be my nephew Javi,
Uh,
and I'm going to be 17, and me and you gonna have this conversation. Ready?
oh yeah, I want to do that too. I
no,
want
but
to do
fuck
that.
it, man. Go ahead.
What's up, pops?
Hey, what's up, kid? How you doing?
Man, I'm chilling, man. Listen, bro, I got this little, the girl I was telling you about at school.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man, I think that we're gonna take that thing to the next level, man. Like, I love her, she loved me, and we done moved up. Like, we went from touching and kissing to, I'm thinking about going there with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, what
Well,
you
all right,
think?
man. Let me let me go ahead and drop this on you real quick. You thinking about taking it to the next level with this little lady? Is that the only thing you thinking about? Or are you thinking about like, you know what I'm saying, the future after that? What if y'all mess around and create another human being? What type of trades do you know, kid? What type of, you know what I'm saying, do you have a type of job that you want to get? Because you're gonna have to provide not just for the kid, but for her too.
But pops, I'm using the condoms you gave me. What you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, practicing safe sex is very intelligent of you, but sometimes that don't always work, man. Sometimes if you're well endowed, that shit'll pop.
What you mean?
And what you mean? What
It'll
I mean?
pop.
Yeah, yeah. The condom will pop. It'll break. And you so into that act, you ain't gonna feel it. And even if you do feel it, I doubt you'll stop, son.
All right, so what you give me the condoms for if they gonna pop?
To practice safe sex.
But if it
Man,
might pop
hold on, little nigga.
anyway.
I ain't give you no condoms. Where the hell you get these condoms from, man?
No, I remember my mom took me to the
I'm
clinic
playing. I'm
when I was
playing.
getting them. Yeah. Remember they gave me them free joints?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
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 yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You went
Mom
to the
do send me
doctor.
out there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They always got them joints sitting out. Yeah, I told you to take them. Yeah, yeah, I remember.
All right, so
But
what
yeah,
you
man. But
saying,
look at
Pop?
here.
So what you saying? Like, am I go? You want me to do or not? Like, what you want me to do, bro? Cause
I
like
really
we
don't
kind of
want you to
there.
do, son. Just because you got a condom, that don't mean you got to use it. Just because I got a goddamn gun, I ain't out here shooting it off.
So don't have
Now,
sex with
my
her.
advice to you, son, is to still get to know this woman way better. Now, what I what what I would do now, John, this is me coming out of the situation because now I'm just thinking. You know what I'm saying? What
No,
I
no,
would do,
stay in
I would
character. Stay in character. Stay in
oh stay
character.
oh
You
all
still,
right,
yeah.
goddamn. All right, well, let me stay in character. All right,
You
son,
still a hobby.
there's way more things to do rather than just doing the do.
Like what?
Something called sensual acts, son. Take her out. While you're taking her out, put your arm around her. I mean, I know you said, y'all kissed and everything, But I mean, shit, bro. Look here, man. You better not slay that goddamn broad. Because if you do, and you ain't got no job, the savings that I got for you is going straight to that baby y'all make, and you ain't getting nothing. You got me, Brian. God damn it. I don't know.
But I mean, do
Yeah,
y'all
that
Let me
was
think
go
that
with
that
good
you.
was
though.
Let me
realistic?
go. Let me go, Stratter. Come on, me and you.
All right, let's do this. Let's do this.
Cause I'm dead ass serious too. All right, let's go.
Hey, what's up, pops?
What's good? What's good, son? What's up?
Hey, man, you remember that girl, Latoya? You met her at
Yeah,
prom. I brought her back from prom.
yeah.
Like, pops, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like, we almost went there, but we didn't because she had to go. But like, she told me like next week. You know what I'm saying? Like, her people out of town, and I might slide over there. Like, I got the condoms you gave me, so like, what you think? Should I do that?
Let me tell you something right now. Let me tell you something right now. I thought I told you this shit before, but let me tell you again. Let me tell you something right now. It's two things you don't do. Don't have sex with nan woman until your ass financially secure, which you ain't, because you still in my shit. And until you know for a fact that damn woman emotionally secure, which I know she ain't, because I heard all them goddamn arguments y'all had over the phone that you thought in here. I know her ass ain't emotionally secure. So first of all, you don't need to be having no. You don't listen. It's a possibility you got these condoms, but then these women they're gonna put you in these situations where they're gonna say y'all don't need a condom and y'all good. Don't believe that shit because you're not gonna think straight. You're gonna think with your man downstairs and not the man that got the brain that God bless you with on your shoulders. Now you know what I'm saying. So you don't need to be having sex with no women because it could possibly make a family that, for one, you ain't financially secure to take care of, and for two, you don't know if the woman that you had that baby with is emotionally secure. You haven't had that experience because y'all haven't been outside the fucking home yet. Now I'm not telling you not to have sex. That's why it's a good thing that President Hinton passed that damn law. So all you gotta do is go up the damn street to 999 Sycamore Street, and you get your rocks off then, and you come back and tell me, does it goddamn matter if you had sex with her or not? And that's the last time I'm telling you this because it's too much of a. It's hey, look, taking kids ain't fun and it's some bullshit. You feel what I'm saying? Taking care of kids, and you're
But
not
pops, you
financially.
did it.
Yeah, but when you broke and you single, it's a headache. I had that paper when I had you. You understand what I'm talking about? So listen, when you broke and you ain't got nothing. So what I'm saying is, son, don't raise
Oh,
no family until you financially secure, until you know she's emotionally secure.
but
That's
hold
all
on,
I'm
pops.
saying.
Well, you had my big brother Rodney. You said you were broke then.
I was fucked up, yeah. And my daddy ain't tell me this. He ain't tell me this. And the laws was different back then. So it's just like it's too much of a high risk, son. You
Oh,
know what I'm saying? Like just don't. And like, just hold on if you can, really. But I'm not gonna sit there and expect you to hold on forever until you know for a fact that you want to marry this woman. Do you want to marry her today? Would you
I
marry
ain't,
her
t-
today?
I ain't talking about all that, pops. I just wanted to damn go over a crib. We gonna Netflix and chill. I ain't talking about no damn marriage, bro.
999 Sycamore Street, 30 minutes, in and out. Boom. It's a good thing. It's a good thing we moved to Nevada. It's a good thing we moved here because I'm just saying, man, you ain't gonna feel the same after you have sex with this girl. She's not gonna feel the same. And y'all not financially secure to take care of no child, and she's not emotionally secure to take care of one.
But
So y'all don't
pops,
need to put that risk on. That condom shit, I understand. But
but
when it's
pops,
when look go ahead, I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
what if I love the prostitute?
She ain't gonna let you love her. Trust me. She ain't gonna let you love her.
But if I keep paying the money and going to the same one, if you saying sex do all of this, if I'm fucking on a prostitute, what happened if I just love her? Then what I'm
I
gonna
really
do?
don't want you to have sex, but I'm just giving you another ultimatum that'll keep you from sex, but keeping it change the life of you and your girlfriend Toya and possibly having a baby.
But it's
They
the
gonna make
thing.
sure
I
all that
love
good.
Toya. I don't love them prostitutes.
You don't want to marry her, you don't love her, son. It's lust. That's what I'm
Oh,
telling you. Go get that nut up off the street and come back and tell me how strong that love is. And I guarantee you, it's gonna be a little watered down by the time you come back. And the more
All right.
times you go up that street, the more times that love gonna be watered down. Okay, all the little shit
All
she
right.
do, all the little
All
shit
right.
she say, you gonna be like, oh hell no. You feel what I'm saying?
But if I get a prostitute toy, you're gonna leave me anyway.
And that's another good test because it's legal. So I mean, what she want? I mean, at the end of the day, I mean that's another good test. If she leave you like that,
Hold on, Pops. You think
how you
mama
gonna
let
let
you
her
go get a
find out?
prostitute?
First of all, hold on. First of all, how the fuck she gonna find out? You tell her every damn thing, man. What the fuck? No, I should let you kept going with mama all them days.
Oh shit. That was good. That was good. We got one more, CJ. Let's have this real
CJ,
conversation, man.
all right,
Let's
God
talk.
damn. You know, I'm my daddy's little girl, man.
Uh,
Shit.
I know. I know. This is gonna be tough. Let's do it. You gotta get in the box. What's up, Pops?
you got to act like a
What
girl,
up?
Straddle.
Oh, fuck that. Oh no, nigga. Role play over. All right. Well, that was a good role play, fellas. I appreciate it. You know, we got some good advice.
That nigga said, play over, nigga.
Got me fucked up. Nope.
Come on, man.
That nigga
We ain't
said,
doing
ain't
that.
no A with that.
Hell no. Hey, look, you
Oh,
gotta get it
fucking
how it
weak.
live. I can do the
Oh,
son.
weak.
I ain't being a daughter.
That
Shit,
is
please.
funny.
Ooh, I got it. I got
Oh,
it. I got it. Let's go back in the box again. Hello? May I speak to Mr. CJ?
this is him. Who this?
Hey, Mr. CJ. This is Dr. Strada. I'm calling from your daughter's high school, and I wanted to kind of make you privy of a conversation that I had with her. She came in and she was talking about this young boy. I don't know if you know her, know the young man, but he took her to prom, and she was asking questions about sex. She's been talking to him for a while, and she didn't feel comfortable bringing it to you. So I wanted to give you a call and kind of get your thoughts on how you want to proceed with her. What advice do you want me to give her?
What's the boy's name?
That's irrelevant, Mr.
It
CJ.
ain't irrelevant. You got me fucked up. What's the boy's name?
I think his name is Tyrone. Tyrone. I think his name is Tyrone. He's the point guard for our basketball team, and he's also our quarterback.
Okay, yeah, I've seen him before. So what's going on? They fucking or what? What are you talking about?
Well, Mr. CJ, I don't know if it's reached a sexual level. She just expressed to me that, they've had conversations about it and they're thinking about going a step further. So I got to meet with her next week. So how do you think, we should proceed? Because clearly she didn't tell you, right? So I want to speak on your behalf, but what do you think my advice should be to her?
You don't gotta give her no advice. If you gonna speak with her next week, I'm gonna speak with her today. So that's all it is to that.
Okay.
I mean, as far as
So,
so based off what you telling me, if they ain't had sex yet, then when I get home, I'm gonna have a nice little conversation with them in regards to her and Tyrone and see what the fuck going on, how far they
okay.
gone, and how far I'm gonna keep them from going any further. Because what we not gonna do is just be out here fucking around and ain't got no knowledge of why we fucking around. You understand?
Okay. That's fair.
And the fact that she got to talk to you instead of talking to me, that lets me know that I need to get in touch with her and figure out why the communication got cut. And I feel like you've gotten in the way of that. So I definitely got to talk with her on more than one thing than just Tyrone.
Whoa, 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 Mr. CJ. Now, I didn't get in the way. Now, this was brought to me
You
voluntarily.
are in the way because at the end of the day, you're finding out something before I did about my own child. You see where I'm coming
Okay.
from?
But would the onus be on you, Mr. CJ, as a parent, or me as a guidance counselor?
I won't know until I talk to my daughter today. You talking to her next week, but I'm gonna talk to her a week before you. So we're gonna find out today.
Okay. So kind of walk me down how the conversation would go in your mind. What's your plan? How do you plan to
Now, daughter, what's your name again?
Dr. Strada? Dr. Strada, sir.
Dr. Strada. All right, so Dr. Strada, I'm pretty sure you are fully aware that this child that we're talking about is not your child. So there is no reason whatsoever why I would have a conversation with you about how I'm going to talk to my child. So once I get off the phone with you, I plan on calling the phone that I pay for that she has to talk to my child. And once I finish talking to her, then maybe whatever conversation that you might have with her next week, if there is a conversation, then you can maybe ask her what was the conversation you had with the father. You understand?
That's fair, but from black man to black man, I just want to be able to support you as well as the
Mm.
other individual as possible. So what advice would you think I should give Tyrone?
The
because
advice you
he
should
also
give
comes as well.
Tyrone.
Yes, sir.
All right, so here's the advice you should give Tyrone. Keep his dick in his pants until me and him have a conversation. Because before any of this shit go down, I gotta talk to him too.
That's fair. You have a good day, Mr. CJ.
Okay.
All right.
Y'all must don't know I'm a daddy's little girl. Ain't no motherfucker. Hey, my first thought was just like, first off, what's that nigga name? Hey, fuck all that. And I damn sure anybody had a conversation with no grown ass man about my child. He got me fucked up. Like, hey, my mini me ain't no fucking way I'm talking to you about her, nigga. And you talking about I'm gonna talk to her next week. Well, before you talk to her next week, nigga, I'm talking to her today. Like, you got me fucked up. Like,
That's
what?
fair. That's fair.
Hell no.
I like that. I like that. That was good, fellas. I think that even though we don't role play like this in real life, I think it's super important that when we're having these theories, because we all are fathers, right? Like I know we don't practice that a lot, but these are conversations we're gonna have to eventually have with our children, be it sons or daughters, right? I do think that was the whole purpose of it was, you know what I'm saying, just to kind of make y'all think a
I don't
little
know
bit
what she
more about
said.
let me bring it back up. She said, no, you be present for any more conversations concerning your daughter.
Facts. Like, ain't no motherfucking way a nigga about to have a conversation about my kid. That was crazy work. And my mom's like, talk to her next week. Oh, brother. I'm talking to her today. And you might
Yeah.
talk to her next week.
I
Ain't no
tried to
fucking
spin it.
way.
I thought the guys
Hell
was gonna
no.
get
Like
CJ. I forgot who I
the
was
moment
talking
you was
to.
put in there, I was just sitting there thinking of literally my daughter. Like, who the fuck? You talking to her before me? You having this conversation before me? First off, nigga, who is you? Like, who is the nigga? Like, no, I don't even care about talking to her right now. I'm trying to investigate y'all. Like, hell no.
That's funny. That's fair. But like I said, I think that was just an interesting, example of things that we might actually go through as fathers on this panel, right? Like this sex conversation will come up sooner rather than later. And if we already see the problem with the system and that our government is not going to do a good job of supporting Black families, as Black men, we have to almost, to I think Mia's point, we almost going to have to step in and ask those probing questions the way the reporter did to our children, make them think a level deeper. And if you notice, he wasn't judging anything they said. He just kept asking more
Nah, he was
questions.
just asking the questions. He was being a genuine interviewer that was just simply asking the questions, and then he was giving direct questions that probably was already written, but then he was giving like follow up questions that probably was just off his head. But at the end of the day, he didn't sound judgmental at all. He was just like, "Well, shit. Well, what about this? Or what about that?" Because when he asked that question about, well, to your statement, your grandmother didn't have this, your mother didn't have a man, and here you are. I'm pretty sure that was not written. That had been just like something he just threw in there to be
Yeah.
like to confirm like, yo, that generation is like still following this horrible routine. So what's your plan? Because you got a kid now, so you gonna do the same thing? Like, that's
Yeah.
wild though. But it does that is that I bet you when he asked that, even though she responded, Thomas, she's gonna tell her kid no, no, no. Deep down, I bet she never put no thought into that shit prior to that question. I bet she ain't put no thought into that shit.
And I think honestly, CJ, that is the value of us as fathers, is our wisdom will never get interjected if we don't pour into our children. They never get those hard logical questions asked to them because the world will not ask them.
Yeah.
The way Bino kept it real, like, nah, you want some bullshit. Like, we not even doing that, boy. You got me fucked up. Josh was like, bro, condoms pop. I gave you condoms and then what? Think about how many times he's probably never heard that prior to being asked that question. I think that is the value in fatherhood, is that we have a way of bringing the realistic world to our children in a logical way that makes them think a little deeper than their answers. That's our value. Or that's part of our value, at least. So that being said, we're going to step back into the 70s generation, and I'm going to play a famous leader, and I want to get y'all thoughts on this video and his sentiments towards our Black women.
The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman. And as Muslims, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us to respect our women and to protect our women. And the only time a Muslim really gets real violent is when someone goes to molest his woman. We will kill you for our woman. I'm making it plain, yes. We will kill you for our woman. We believe that if the white man will do whatever is necessary to see that his woman gets respect and protection, then you and I will never be recognized as men until we stand up like men and place the same penalty over the head of anyone who puts his filthy hands out to put in the direction of our women.
What y'all think?
Bro, I wish more black men, regardless of religious belief, was thinking like that. Like, I wish more of us respond cause like we've already did the statistics a long time ago that most black men prefer being with a black woman over any other race. So I feel like whatever the protection that the black man was doing at that time frame, I would like to know what was the mindset or how was the women carrying themselves in that time frame for them to want to protect them on such a level, or if their belief was also in that same category, because he was Muslim, so I don't know if he was specifically trying to be protective of the Muslim black woman or just black women in general. But I would say overall, regardless of religious belief, I wish more black men was like that. But at the same time, who are they really protecting? Like, is it worth protecting based off how the women carry themselves today? Well, not all of them, but some of them.
That's fair. Let's go Bino and then Josh.
Damn, the only thing niggas do that he said that Honorable Malcolm X said in that video was kill over a woman. But the only thing is that ain't the type killing he was talking about. When niggas kill each other over a damn woman. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, damn, like yeah, like basically what he said, man, and that's it was gonna go back. I was gonna put that in part of my solutions, but I say a piece of it is like men gotta raise each other. Men gotta raise the boys to put more value on themselves than we ever had on ourselves, or our fathers had on themselves, or grandfathers. Like put more value when I say on themselves, their body. Um, we teach them to put value on their mind, work hard, be providers, protectors. But we teach them to do that for who? Not themselves, but women. And really, we need to teach that to be that for themselves first before we teach that to be that for a woman. We kind of train our boys to do things for a woman, and it automatically subconsciously takes the value away from them or away from us. But we can't. I'm saying dumb because I'm gonna tell we can't cry with spoiled milk, right? The damage has been done. All we can do is pour into the next generation, and then that generation is going to pour into the next generation. It took generations to get here. It's going to take generations to get back. You know what I mean? So it's like we need to start teaching our boys to put more value on them, on their body, on themselves. And if they do that, then that's going to automatically have women start putting more value on themselves and their body, because the men is not going to be trying to take advantage on molest them like Malcolm X spoke of, because he got value on himself and his body.
That's fire, Bino. That's a bar. That's a bar. Josh, what do you got? What do you think about Brother Malcolm X's sentiments towards black women and protection?
Man, shout out to Brother Shabazz, man. That's one of my greats right there. But my thoughts on that, man, is to just get them while they're young, like instill that type of protection in the young men or the young children, that are boys, like, what I'm saying, while they're young. Saying and like Homegirl just said, same for women as well, you know what I'm saying? But just sort of talk to them while they're young about that, because it's harder to talk to a dude to try to tell him, like, if something happening to, like, what I'm saying, a sister over there, Metaris, don't even matter if it's a white dude or a black dude that's fucking with her, like, hey bro, like, what I'm saying, let's go over there and check him. I ain't gonna front, real shit nowadays, a motherfucker be like, hell no, that ain't my business. What the fuck did she do? You know what I'm saying? That's why you gotta get them out of young. Like, bro, if you see something wrong, go ahead and do something about it. Especially if that woman over there ain't got nobody over there to protect her, or hell, even if she do got friends over there, if they all females over there, and they, what I'm saying, there's some rambunctious ass fucking you know what I'm saying, dudes going over. Matter of fact, prime example, bro. There was a video I just saw like on my fucking phone where some white dude was over there in fucking Thailand. I don't know what the fuck he was fussing with them three little bras about at the table, but they were eating minding their business. He came over there and just started fucking with them. There was a dude over there, but he really ain't do shit. He was just sort of sitting off back looking because you know the dude was a little brolic. But homeboy just came from the back. You could tell he won't dare for it. He don't know what the fuck was said. All he needed to see was this man acting off on this woman. And he took off and broke that motherfucker jaw and laid his ass out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like again, I think if we need more of that, we need to go ahead and instill that in our children, you know what I'm saying, when like, you know, like right now in this, you know what I'm saying, like why they like 5, 6, 7.
Like that. I think that to combine yours and Bino's point, I think that by valuing themselves as black men and valuing black women, the protection becomes I'm protecting what looks like me because every other ethnicity does it. We cannot go in Chinatown violating women and allow and think that those men in that same area is not going to get us the fuck out of Chinatown if we on bullshit. We
Real
cannot
shit.
go to Mexican community, name insert ethnicity here. You ain't going over there violating their women. It just don't happen. Because if there's an onlooker of that same ethnicity, at that point it's not about protecting her, it's about protecting my lineage.
Real shit.
We have lost the ability to set hard boundaries with people that don't look like us. And it fucks us up. Right?
Yeah.
And I think that to the point, you know, and I think that we can do a lot of checking with amongst ourselves, but I think that we have to get back to the point to where as a black ethnicity, we love each other for who we are. Not saying accept the dumb shit, but I do think that that protective energy that most other men have for their ethnicity and their community is lost. That's it.
And like you said, not necessarily accept the dumb shit, but stop doing the dumb shit. Stop partaking in it. You ain't got to judge it. You
That
ain't got
part.
to look down. Stop partaking in it. You know what I'm
That
saying?
part. That part. I got one more video, and I think that this would be a nice little bow. I got like maybe 6 more videos I can play. But to put a nice bow on the part 2 of this is an interesting, intriguing clip. We're going back to the Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin conversation. I wanted to get your thoughts on this because we do have all men up here. So we're going to play this, get your thoughts, and we'll come back around to some solutions.
Be careful as a woman of what you demand of a man.
I demand that he be a man.
Yeah, but you can't
because
say,
the provision part.
Yeah, but you can't say you demand it. You have to suggest it.
Well, that's your ego that says that. No, I demand it. Now you deal with that.
All right. Okay. I'll even go with that.
I demand that you be a man, and I don't think that that's asking too much. It means I need a man, and black men have always been offered to provisions. People are either going to eat or starve to death. Sometimes you are not able to feed your family. Sometimes you are not able to clothe your family. Do you then also deprive them of your manhood and of the input that a man has? Who teaches my son how to pee?
Yeah, but
you see?
I think we touched on that video earlier from part 1, but I wanted to bring it back. Do you think that there's a disconnect between how the genders look at being a man and what it means?
That's how who look?
On how men and women think the perception of being a man is. Do you think that there's a difference in how the genders look at what being a man means?
I'm gonna say yes, for sure.
What way?
For sure. Well, for one, me personally, I gotta give my warnings. Ladies, don't get upset with me. If you were not raised by a father figure, uncle, like you can't be up here saying, I need a man, you're not a man. You can't claim that. You don't even know what a man is like. You was never raised by one. You was ran by a woman your whole life. So you can't really be up here screaming all the time that if a man's a man or not a man. Now, to that, I would say, from what I have seen, being raised by a father, though he was not in the house, he was definitely extremely active in my life. Then I had my uncles and other father figures in the neighborhood and whatnot. I would say that to me, the being a man is being 10 toes down on your beliefs, your morals, especially when it comes to religious practices, Christian more than likely, and being a person that, hey, if this is the route you're gonna go, stand on that. If this is the lifestyle you're gonna go that, and that lifestyle involves being a protector and provider of all those within this lifestyle, that is you. The moment you start to fall off of these things, you are becoming less of a man, not a man, less of a man. You're devaluing yourself. So, like, let's say, oh, you're a single man. You decide, oh, my goal is I'm a go to college, or I'm gonna go to the military, and then within either one of these things, I'm gonna get a trade or a skill, and I'm gonna use this to better my finances, or better my mental education, or better myself physically. Then at some point, I want to have me this specific woman I want to commit to. Now I'm like locked in with this woman. Now I got kids with this woman. If you're basically building a temple within yourself, within whatever your morals and your beliefs is. You're building a temple around your morals and your beliefs to keep it protected, to keep it alive. That's being a man. The moment you let other motherfuckers get in, like, oh, now I got this side piece, you're devaluing yourself as a man. The moment you make poor financial decisions and don't come back on it, or you made it poor, like, when I mean poor financial decisions, I mean like gambling, shit that basically was gonna fuck over you and your family. The moment you start making those poor decisions that could cause damage to your family, you're devaluing yourself. So to be a man is to have these morals and beliefs, these positive morals and beliefs that will build you in regards to being that protector provider for a family that you want. Then once you got that family and you're building them within that same exact temple and maintaining it, the moment you let that shit go, your image of a man becomes less.
Like it. Anybody want to follow up?
Yeah, I do, man, because it is a lot of what he said, what CJ said is right. And I think it goes into like the reason why that difference is looked at like that between man and woman, of the idea of what a man is. Because I agree with CJ, that's what a man is, but it goes back to what I said with teaching the men or young boys to value themselves. And a lot of what he said is what I meant, and teaching them the real idea of what being a man, and not being a man to because you're meant to provide for a woman. And I think it's the same thing. Like, see, we went from a generation where the young daughter didn't have to see what it was, had to ask what it was to be a man, because she automatically had that conversation with her father and seen her father. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Doing
a
it at the
bar.
same time. You know what I'm saying? Then it went from when the father was out the home. We just seen these videos of how the black women were saying they don't need a man, or even don't want one for that matter. You know what I'm saying? So it went from what you gonna do, teacher? You don't need a man. You know what I'm saying? You do things on your own, but at the same time, that doesn't obviously that hasn't worked out when it comes to having a baby. You feel what I'm saying? Because if you're going to tell them that, you telling them not to have sex with a male, not to have unprotected. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I go. You can't tell them not to have sex. Like the same conversations when we role play with men, you got to role play that with the women too, because that's what ended up happening. They get taught they don't need a man or want a man, but humanly, we're meant to connect to each other. If you know what I'm saying, type
That's a
shit
fact. It's a fact.
by nature. So it's going to happen. So you're teaching them wrong. You're not teaching them the lessons. And then the man, they don't see it with the image of the father being around, or even the father having that conversation with them. So this is why it starts now. This is where we at today, with the idea of being a man is two different views from women. You know what I'm saying? For man and woman. Because to a woman, the only thing a man is to take care of her, to take care of her family, do this. But being a man is really what CJ said. And if a man is that first, the rest of that shit automatically is, you know what I'm saying? It's not even thought twice about.
Mm, that's a bar. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I don't even think I have much to add to that, brother, to be honest with you. I think that you knocked that one out of the park. I did have one more video I wanted to play, but I wanted to find it. I want to see. I don't think we covered it in the first video or the part one. Bear with me for 1 second as I find the clip that I'm looking for.
Hey, John, before you go there, man, let me say this though.
Yeah, do your thing.
On what CJ said, because when he said what he said, bro, that shit sort of hit me in the goddamn feels. Because like my nigga, probably the first couple of relationships that I had, when I like left the house when I was in college and in the military and shit, I really didn't know how, like, I was a man, but to be honest, I really didn't know how to be a man. So in turn, I was taking other people's standards, which was the women I was dating, and trying to fit that,
Exactly. That's
not
what we do.
knowing that it's like, bro, I'm fucking myself up. What fucked me up even more was the fact that it's like, bro, it ain't the worst feeling is when a woman leave you for a dude and you look at that dude and you like, yo, what the fuck? Like what did you change? Like I'm sort of looking at me. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't want the type of man you were trying to make me to be.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
You talking
That's a
about like
bar.
for example, how you are dating somebody and this is who you are right now. And they already know who you are right now. But now they're saying, hey, I want you to change this. I want you to adjust that. I want you to tweak this. You
And
know
you
what? Just
change
stop that
so much,
altogether.
and you change so much of yourself. You like, damn. I mean, I'm
You
sort
ain't
of
even you no
comfortable,
more.
but I know this ain't me. And then the next dude she get is you before the changes.
Before the fucking changes. So
See,
why
and
the
see,
fuck she make you change to begin with?
But
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 see,
but
that's
see, but
so
see, I ain't gonna
crazy.
front. But that right there was my fault because I should have been more of a man. Even though me and my brothers, we didn't we had to figure this shit out. We didn't have a man in the house. I was looking
Mm,
at my older brother. He was looking at our oldest brother, and Junior didn't have nobody to look at.
mm.
You know what I'm saying? So like CJ, you what you said that shit hit deep, and you were 100%
Right.
on that.
Right. Right. And what he said was so prevalent because it's like your story. A lot of us got different stories, but for them same reasons what you said hit because you was a man, but you didn't know how to be a man. So you judge your manhood based on the women you was with. See what I'm saying? So like everything we said this whole show is basically that from the male perspective of it. It's basically exactly what you just said. And it goes right into what CJ said and what I added on. That's why putting a value on ourselves, learning how to be a man without a woman, not being involved in that conversation of being a man and all the essentials that CJ mentioned, will have it where a woman
Women
can't
on this
even
shit.
negotiate you to change. She can't even have that negotiation, and you won't even end
Exactly.
up in that situation because you would know exactly what it is your purpose is to be a man. So whatever she says she don't like it, you would say, get the fuck on then. It wouldn't be where have a position where she could negotiate you just to do what she fucking did. You feel what I'm saying? So
Real
like
shit.
Mm.
that's why like that shit be so essential, yo, to us looking at ourselves. Fuck a woman at the end of the day. You feel what I'm saying? Like they get taught that by the fathers and they like y'all got daughters. We already can tell what y'all tell y'all daughters. They getting taught that. You feel what I'm saying? Off the
It's
rip.
a fact.
But
It's
what
a
are we teach?
fact.
What do the boys get taught though? You feel what I'm saying? And then it looks crazy from the outside looking in, and we get to blame, we the deadbeats, which is all true. But we need to teach our boys to say fuck women off the rip. Learn how to be a man before you even think about a woman, and that's hard to
Okay.
do. You feel what I'm saying? That's hard to do. You feel what I'm saying? My prostitution thing, that's extreme, and I'm not going back to it because I was really doing that for purpose of conversation. But we do really need to find a way, you know what I'm saying? And I think it goes back to, like you said, straight to education. Like, bro, like, we need to be the one that be like, yo, it's just so much shit, man. But it's gonna be a lot, though. It's gonna take a village, bro. And it's gonna take all individual homes to be doing the same shit. So when we put these products out here, they all on the same page type shit for real.
I got it. I got a great follow up. We all are fathers. Do we see the children that we're raising? Do we think that there's a probability they'll end up like the people we saw in the 70s and the 80s? Do we think that our children will end up with the same fate? Why not?
I don't think mines will end up with the same fate, but it's a possibility they'll end up in the same fate as me and their mothers.
Why you say that?
Not the, because like because the whole purpose of what we talking about, like this whole education, the ideal of having sex, like you feel what I'm saying? Like that's getting brought in more and more. It's not going down. It's actually being spread open even more and more and more. Like so, it's like that conversation, like it's a possibility, like they can have kids out of wedlock, is what I'm saying. Like they won't be in the same position as the 70s and 80s because their grandparents wasn't and their parents wasn't. So it's like they're going to be able to like, but I don't even want that to happen. You feel what I'm saying? Like I want it to be like straight like before the 60s and the 60s and when it start happening. I want it to be like you have kids with your wife, bro. You have kids with your husband, baby girl. You feel what I'm saying? Like and y'all raise a family together. But the way the world turning, that's why I said, like, damn, bro. Like, so no, to answer your question though, nah, they won't be in that. We far gone from that. We far gone from that project. I don't want to take care of my kids. I'm just having babies out here as a boy, and then for a woman, my girl ain't gonna be like, she gonna know not to do that shit. She gonna know better.
Okay. Fellas, fathers, the same question. Do we believe that our generation of children will suffer the same fate and outcome as the generations from the 70s and 80s? Why not?
In regards to my little mini me, I don't know. I ain't gonna lie. I'm probably gonna lean towards Bino about saying that they probably going to end up having kids out of should probably end up having a kid out of wedlock. And I say that because the odds of a kid really having a kid through marriage and all that is through the fact that they were living under the same household as their own parents that was married. Like the odds is greater that I was raised under the same roof as my mom and my biological father and mother to know that. You see what I'm saying? So the fact that she's not, because obviously I'm here, her mother's there, we be rotating and whatever. So to the fact that she's not living in that lifestyle, that she can be like some of these girls saying like, "Oh, I see my mom without a man or without her dad, so I can do it too." Now, like at least in my daughter's case, if she does end up having a kid, at least she's got parents that are financially stable and actually financially smart. Because even her, I'll give credit to her mom that she is too. That we can still help our daughter and granddaughter for however long, you know what I'm saying? But it's the fact that, like Bino said, odds are she'll probably have her first kid without being married first, simply because of that. Now, yeah, I can teach her. You can teach your kid to like, hey, wait until marriage, do this and the third. But that's no different than teaching your kid that is no different than those crackheads and those hood niggas back in the day that would literally be like, hey kids, you know what I'm saying? Don't be like me. Don't smoke cigarettes. Like they
Yeah,
telling you not to
that's
smoke cigarettes, but yet they literally packing a pack of Newports right in front of you though. And ultimately, half of us end up smoking cigarettes at some point. So to tell me not to do something that you literally do or did or have done is it's gonna always hit a person like, well, shit. At the end of the day, you did it.
you're
So
right,
should
CJ. That's
the
the same thing. That's what happened. That's how a lot of us got here already.
all right,
Cause it's not like
so
we
let
didn't.
me inject something here though, fellas. If that's the case, if y'all say it's still a high probability, is the responsibility on us as their fathers to show them better? Do we need to be getting married? Do we
Of
need to
course,
be?
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, of
let me.
course. I mean, they already here though, but yeah, we can try to show them. But I mean, they already here, so it's like vote. And like CJ saying, the thing about it is the ones that do it like that, they make it work for the child, and the child still grow up in love, and the child still grow up and learn principles and all this other stuff. It's like they don't even see that there's nothing wrong with it, because like we could tell, like we heard not have sex until we was married. We all heard it before, but what did we see? What did the most of us
Right.
see? We seen something different and we came out okay, so we end up doing the same, and now we got kids. So it's like, like to answer your question, strategy. Yeah, we can get married to. It wouldn't be their birth mothers. So are you asking to get married to their birth mothers?
No. I'm just saying
Oh
that
yeah, I mean
don't you
we
think
could, but
that the
yeah,
advice will hit different better? Because CJ's point was,
yeah, the advice should hit different.
uh,
They
go
should be
ahead.
able to see a different. They should be able to see a difference. You feel what I'm saying? They should be able to see a difference, especially if it. Oh man, that'd be unfortunate though. especially if they see their siblings in the same household as two parents, and that they wasn't. But that hit different though.
Mm, mm.
So you think if you had to choose a lesser of two evils, do you think your point lands more solid on your children by being the example you're telling them, or by just explaining your mistakes?
We got to be explaining the mistakes
You
at
gotta
this
lead
point.
by example.
Yeah, for me,
Yeah,
at
I would
this
probably
point,
say
at,
you got to display the right way.
Yeah.
Like for some people you can talk it, and for some people you can just display it.
so
Like
if you was to get married to
it's
another
yeah.
world, if you was to get married to another woman today, will you'll be considering that displaying what you saying? I mean, because the
I would
baby, I mean,
say
your child already here. So how would that how would you explain or talk to her? Like how would that look for her if she or he is already here, but you're telling them not to do it
I
before?
think it drives home the error in your mistake through changed behavior. We always say that an
Okay.
apology means nothing without changed behavior.
mm,
So if I'm telling you, hey, I fucked up, I got with your mother, I didn't marry her if you got a kid out of wedlock, but look at what I'm doing now.
mm.
I'm married. Yeah, you know your step brother, your step sister. I did it right. I fucked it up, and I'm telling you, you don't want to go that route.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean,
You think it'll
yeah,
hit different if you have the results of what you're telling your kid to do?
I would say yeah. Cause at the end of the day, you can teach kids. It's one thing to teach a kid not to touch the stove. It's another thing for them to let them touch that motherfucker while it's hot. Like you got to just basically let that shit display and let them see it, let them experience it. Just to say the words is never enough for kids, cause that's no different than throwing subtitles on a TV screen. They're not gonna look at them fucking words. They're gonna look at the images on the TV screen. You know what I'm saying? So I would definitely say, even if I didn't marry the mother of my child, but I married another woman, like you said, just the display of showing love and appreciation with that woman, and your daughter or your son is seeing that right there would help a lot for sure. It would be
yeah, it would.
better if you was with the biological parent for sure. It would help drastically more, yes, but the fact that you can still show it with someone, and if they ask questions, be straight up with them. You know, because that's why I am with my daughter. Because I ain't never talked to my daughter like no little baby. I just talk to her like I talk to y'all, just without profanity. To be honest with you, so as long as you talk to her and explain to her whatever question you need to ask, well, why you didn't do that with mommy? You just, hey, low key, you might have to be straight up for like, why did you marry mom? Like, here it is, blah 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 blah, this and the third. But I did find love with this person. Now I'm married to this person, and this is what it's like. And then they're gonna be like, all right, well, cool. Well, they might can't see what love is with you and mommy, but they can at least see what love is with daddy and this woman. It's
Yeah,
just
I
a
gotta
different
agree.
version.
I gotta agree. I gotta agree because when I think about it, the reason why I date today is I date to marry. Like if I'm dating like the longer, and that is one of the reasons. Those are one of those reasons. Is to represent that so my kids can see that. So yeah, I would because I actually when I think about it, like yeah, that's some actually I do. That's one of my purposes. You feel what I'm saying? Like to
Hmm.
not have the potential of making kids out of wedlock again, and to also having like that situation where they can see. So yeah, I gotta agree with both of y'all.
That's a fact. All right, Josh, we'll give you the last. We'll pass the mic around to you. Lastly, um, based on the children, because we're all fathers, how do you think the outcome of your child, my nephew, weighs up against what we saw in the '70s and the '80s?
Shit, bro. That's I don't know, man. My mind's been bouncing all over the place, especially hearing y'all's response. Like, I mean, the only thing I really could do different, man, is just be truthful, and I'm talking about 100% brutal truth. I'm talking about what my life and my actions. You know what I'm saying? Like when you talking about you and yours, everybody gotta they have this tendency to make light even of your fuck ups. You can't do that if you want your generation to be above you. That's
Facts.
why I mean like brutal honesty. Like, kid, this is what happened when me and your moms got together, and this is why it didn't work. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just man, damn, this question is it's
Don't get
hard for
teary
me.
eyed on camera. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Nah,
Hey,
I ain't gonna
kids,
front.
his
I mean,
eyes just sweat a little bit.
I just sweating.
nah, man. Like, cause I'm already like always thinking in my head, like, damn, like how can I don't know, like how can I raise him to not, I guess, to not end up falling in the same trap as a lot of our predecessors, you know what I'm saying? Myself included. And again, that's the only thing I could think of, man, is just brutal honesty and a little bit of incentive. You know what I'm saying? Just going back to when you had me in that scenario and I said what I said, I meant that. Like, I'm not gonna eat your fucking lunch if you mess around and get a little girl pregnant. I'll be perturbed, but the little savings that I had for you that you were gonna get when you turn 23, 24, that's not going to you no more. It's going to your child. So now you got to go ahead and put to that pot as well. Again, actions and consequences. You can choose action all day. You want to fuck, go ahead and fuck. But when one of those consequences end up being a child, or God forbid, twins, you deal with shit, and I'm gonna be right there beside you to make sure you don't fuck up. And that's all I got on that.
That's fair. I think that the reason why a lot of us might have dropped the ball is because I don't know if we had the context. It's not an excuse, it's just the reality. Like, there wasn't a father, somebody that looked like you saying, hey, that feeling you get when that girl tell you she pregnant, the old stomach drop. And when you taking that baby home and you afraid like a motherfucker because
Like
it
a
didn't come with no
motherfucker,
instructions.
boy.
You feel me? Like, we didn't get that firsthand knowledge. We got it from an uncle or an OG. And let's keep it real. Nothing hits harder than advice that comes from someone that is of your direct lineage.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that us as fathers, I think that we are aware more than the generations before us. And I think that we've created a space for more honesty with our children that probably we didn't have at the time we were making mistakes. I
Yeah.
think
For
something as
sure.
simple as, and again, even in my scenario, like, yeah, so I got that I was married when I had my daughter, but it still didn't work. But I can talk to my daughter about, you were too young, but do you know what it's like to dissolve a marriage with you being here?
Mm.
Right. Like even that
You feel
idea, the
me?
idea of
That
getting
reality
married
check.
because of kids, like that idea, that mindset got to change too, because they still try to put that on men too. Like, if you make kids with a girl, you should marry her. No, like that, because that end up with divorces at the end of the day.
True. But even deeper than that, to walk them down what it's going to look like the soon thereafter. Because a lot of times there
Right.
isn't enough people speaking about how damning that is to your psyche, your spirit, while doing it, right?
Right.
A lot of times it's portrayed as, whew, thank God that's over with. Back to the streets I go. That ain't how it works.
Right. Right.
You feel
I
me?
can imagine. I can imagine.
And so, because my proponent is for my daughter to be married, I have to be honest with her about um her conduct, the conduct of the man she picks, and the
Mm-hmm.
nuances of how it can go wrong prior to baby being here, because it's not talked about enough. And so, there's conversations I know I'm going to have with her, but I think that it works to my advantage because I am a man and she's a woman. Most people are like, man, that's a disadvantage. Like, no, actually, it's an advantage because I can tell you what it's like for that young man you just brought to me. I'm gonna tell you, if you don't get this right, what you're gonna put him through,
Mm.
how it's gonna affect him, how that's gonna affect the nuclear family you was trying to build. I can speak to that before it even happens,
Hmm.
type shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that that's probably what's on our side that was lost in the 70s and the 80s is that we are living proof of the mistakes and the endurance to get through. But we're present to give the testimony, which was missing in all those videos.
Hmm.
The other
It's just the
side was a
experience.
hypothesis. There was no one there.
Yeah, people
They had
take
to
it extreme.
theorize about what a man should be. They had to think about, well, he wasn't there, I'm kind of all right. But I think that's one of the biggest things we have going in our favor is our presence.
You
Mm.
know what would be crazy to see? I know what I would love to see just because you said that. I would love to see that was in '86. I would love to see the daughters and the sons that's our age, because that's our age range, sit with the mothers and the fathers of the day. You feel me?
Today and question that shit.
And talk.
Oh,
Damn,
That'll be what was really needed
that's
for
tough.
the community to see.
That's the
That's
thing,
tough.
Bino. We're old enough to have those conversations with our parents. You know how they go.
Yeah,
It
that's
ain't
what
on
I'm
the
saying.
internet.
It'd be like,
It'd have been
hey,
cool
I'm
to
gonna tell
man.
you.
see, but
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. I've prematurely had certain like slight conversations about my mom and dad's relationship with my dad. Like ask him like, why didn't they get married or whatnot? And it's the most cheesiest fucking reason why. It's because my dad, he's like me, or I'm like him, so to speak. Like we're very outspoken. Whether it sounds like we joking or not, odds are we probably dead ass serious, even though you laughing. So I guess one night that nigga just was in bed with it, was just like married me. And he was dead ass. And I know how my dad is. My dad don't say but so many words. So when he say some shit, you better take that shit to heart. And I guess my mom laughed and said, Tony, that's my dad. And they said, you ain't serious. And my dad said, he paused and said, he sat up and said, I'm gonna ask you one more time. And if you don't give me an answer, I ain't gonna never ask you again. And so my mom said, Tony, stop playing. And my dad said, he sat back down in that bed and said, all right. Yeah, and here we are. And that's literally why they did not get married, because she didn't say yeah. That was it.
you gotta respect
And
it
now here
though.
we are. And now here we are in 2024. He answered that when I wasn't even one yet. So here we are in 2024. My dad finally got married.
That's what's up.
That's what's
Like that's wild.
That's dope. That's fire,
Yeah,
bro.
my pop just got married not too long ago too.
See,
But damn, like I needed, yeah, I'm just saying, like, it'd be nice to televise that, like, you feel what I'm saying, like, just different, cause how it look for different, from different families, man, and shit. It would be nice to see they shit though. I would like to see. I would really talk about they shit, the ones that old dudes that we just watched. Like, it'd be nice to see
Yeah,
they shit
like
today.
see how
with the
the
six with the
outcome.
six kids and shit, like
Yeah,
nigga,
yeah.
did you ever decide to get right with at least get right with the lady with the three? Like my nigga, I know he said he had four baby mamas, so that means the one with the three got the most. She got the chunk of it. So it's just like, god damn, bro. Like at least he with that one.
And that's six
Like she was.
kids without a father growing up in the projects of Newark, New Jersey. So based on the numbers, they might not be here to be able to have that conversation for
That
real.
part.
real shit.
See, boy, that's
And
shaky.
we don't even have to theorize because those are our classmates.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
We
Real
know that
shit.
story. We seen it. We lived it.
Yep. So
That's all I got for y'all tonight, fellas. It's been a dope conversation, man. I think that this was a unique stream because I think that throughout it, I was pressing for solutions while we had the conversation, which is a little different. Y'all know I normally wait to the end. I don't think that's necessary. I think that sometimes these types of conversations are so unique that the structure and order that you normally see is not needed. Certain
Now
things
what
just have
how
to
them
be
clips
said.
was. Yeah, them every clip that you displayed, it just hit so fucking heavy. And it wasn't like, no, this ain't no AI shit. This ain't no
No,
acting. These is real interviews with real folks from like the 70s and 80s. And to realize like, holy shit, like, and they talking like this shit is normal. That's the crazy part. They're not even, is wild. The fact that you saw the two couples where the dude that she dated him because he was bow legged, or wanted because he was bow legged, and then you see them having a little talk in front of the camera, and she's over here like, you done pissed me off enough today. Don't piss me off, and I get mad and hit you. Like they literally about that. These niggas ain't even 18. They having arguments like the Ike and Tina. But yeah, y'all still fucking around because she just admitted that she control alt deleted the second baby or some shit. So it's just like y'all arguing today, but y'all fucking later. That's crazy work, man.
ain't that how it go though?
And that shit
That's how I
still
Low
go.
happen.
key, low key.
That's how I go high key. That shit be that
Damn,
go.
There I go though.
bro.
Yeah, and like I said, for that reason alone, I'm not doing roundtable solutions. We're gonna do this open style. If y'all got anything else y'all want to add from the two-part video, now be the time. Give your input, then we'll get up out of here.
I would just say, I just reiterate what we already talked about. You know, fellas, men that watch this, that will end up coming across this, young boys that might come across this, man, like look at yourself a little different when it comes to your body and value it a little bit more for all the reasons that we spoke about and all the reasons in those videos that you've seen and shit. Be a part of the solution. That is the solution for today for me. Be a part of the solution. Be a part, do the change and be a part of the solution, not the problem.
Love it, love it. Anybody else?
Man, look, if you a father figure, like you could just be uncle, basically. If you gonna give advice to the young boys and girls, make sure that advice is sound. Make sure the advice that you're giving is advice that is based off of something that you yourself is actually implementing in your own life. For example, don't tell somebody to not smoke cigarettes and you literally got a Newport in your mouth. You feel me? Appreciate you, Queen. Like, don't
Thank
be,
you, Queen.
give sound advice that will benefit them 10, 15, 20 years later. And make sure that the advice that you're giving is advice that you yourself are implementing in your life. All right. That's what I like to give.
Like it, Josh? What you got?
That man, I was gonna say that, bro. Like the advice you doing, man. I mean, they got to see it and they got to see it in action. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when they see it in action and they see that shit is succeeding, they like, damn, either how can I do that or how can I do that better? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, yeah, it's just starting early, talking to them young and try not to talk at them, talk to them. Because I ain't gonna front. Sometimes us as parents, we you know what I'm saying? When you start hearing yourself talk, you like, damn, man, I think I'm sort of talking at them, and I need, you know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and just retard my levels a little bit and show a little empathy. You know what I'm
Like it.
saying? So yeah, bro, that's shit. That's all I got on that there.
Oh, like I said, man, y'all covered it all. And for the sake of not repeating what's been said, I just want to say thank you again to my brothers for having a dope conversation with me. Make sure you all like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video to someone that you know. And again, we will catch you all next Sunday, probably 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. We'll be right back here, man, tackling these problems with these statistics to get to these solutions, man. We out. Y'all have a good one. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.